Hello there, and welcome to Core, the video game podcast where we talk about video games. All right, that's what we do.
Video games.
That's
Mostly.
right. Yeah, and we're fans. 3 of us are fans. That's John,
Mostly.
who just said mostly. He's like the girl in Aliens. Did a real good...
Mostly.
And then there's Bo, who also likes to play these games, right? You're a big video gamer.
I'm like the alien from Alien.
Oh, that was a terrible impression of an alien from Aliens. But I don't think any of those are even close. Those are all really bad, but whatever.
Every time there's an Aliens trailer, you know it's Aliens because it goes
Yeah.
whatever the sound. I can't go that high, but you know.
Yeah, no, I know. The effort was what mattered, and I appreciate
The
it.
famous alien sound.
Well, that sound you hear is the sound of us starting a new show, but I do want to say one thing before we get into what we're going to cover today, because you might say to yourselves,
Say just one thing.
you might say, hey, Core, how is it possible that after last week's flood of announcements and directs and state of plays and all those things, how are you possibly going to make it digestible today for your dedicated, loyal listening audience? And we found a way to do it, mostly due to the ingenuity of John Jagger. You may be familiar with his work. He had a really great idea about how to kind of get it all together today. So you'll see all that in a minute. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to tell you at the top of the show the one thing we're not going to get too deep into, because there isn't much to get deep into except maybe some implications. Xbox, aka Microsoft, announced the Xbox ASUS Ally X handheld device.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
It's
is
a
there
lot.
a Rogue in there, or is it just my?
The Rogue, I think they left out. It's just Ally and Ally X, but they're both Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X, and they're
There's always a rogue. You just can't always see it.
or ROG, right?
Sometimes
Is it ROG or
it's
Rogue?
Sneaking.
ROG.
It's Republic of Gamers. I think is what it's short for. It's the Asus brand.
Are
I
we
think that
supposed to
people
say ROG?
They say Rogue. And it's not ROG. It's not a ROG Ally. It's Rogue Ally.
But there's no
I think people
UE in there, right?
So ROG it's just an acronym, right? So you can kind of mispronounce acronyms because they're
Yeah.
you know it's
Because they're acronyms, right?
they're not
Yeah.
words like so I don't know.
Well, initialisms are ones you can't pronounce. Acronyms are the ones you can. So if you say FBI, it's actually an acronym or an initialism. If you say, like that stupid Doge thing, since you can say it, that's an acronym. So this is an acronym in that you can pronounce it, but how you pronounce it is up to you. That's what we've said. That's what we're saying.
I don't think it's up to you. I think it's rogue.
You think it's Rogue and not ROG?
Yeah, because what does rogue mean?
Well, I agree, but it's short for Republic of Gamers, which means
yeah, but you can say it.
yeah,
It's
like
fun.
Rogue or ROG, because Rogue has a U and an E at the end. Do you feel good about saying it that way?
But yeah, but do you remember when everybody decided that all their company names needed to have no vowels, but you still pronounced it like they had
That's
vowels?
a fair point. That's true.
It's the same principle.
Yeah,
Like,
it probably doesn't matter.
yeah, it's not spelled rogue, but you just say rogue.
But nobody says ROG. That gets you in jail. That puts you in gamer jail if you say
Yeah,
ROG.
well, it's like, why are you wasting everybody's time?
Yeah. Don't give us all the letters, jerk, is what we say. Well,
Maybe they should have named it like something with the whole word like Steam Deck, you know? Maybe we shouldn't buy this if that's how lazy they're going to be about their branding.
I mean, the fact that it's not actually Xbox hardware, really, it's just them partnering with Asus to make one of their new allies have Xbox shit on it. So it's kind of a little bit of a weird thing that way anyway. These are pretty nice spec-wise. I'm going to rip down just the basic specs we know so far and the estimated price, though they did not give that. This is based purely on speculation. But this device, it's interesting in this one way. It's going to be running Windows 11, but with a front end that runs a lot like Steam's front end. When you play it it's like big picture mode on PC or on the handheld on Steam Deck. It's, the front end of the Steam Deck's the same thing. So you never really have to go and look at the back end desktop Linux thing on a Steam Deck. In the same way, you should never really, unless you want to hack around and dink around, need to go look at Windows in a traditional Windows way. But that has some interesting implications. So you would be able to run not just Xbox Game Pass games, PC versions, by the way. This is not running the console library. This is running Game Pass PC. Of course, streaming stuff like xCloud, but also it'll run the Epic Store, Steam Store, GOG, everything else that has a launcher. Anything you can run on your PC, you can run on this thing. And that's interesting in the one sense that if you do get out of the normal interface, or they make specialized apps versions for it. But you could go and run Discord and just have full-on Discord on your handheld and talk to your friends on Discord while you're playing the game. They probably make a native one that runs in the interface. And then Microsoft's also said they're going to take that interface and put it on PCs as well. So if you would like that and you want to access everything that way, maybe in a living room or something off a PC, a dedicated box, you will also have this new interface for that. I think that's really smart of them. But it's just about the only thing that makes it a Microsoft product. Other than that, this is not their hardware. This is not their design even. This is a collaboration effort between them to, build some brand stuff and kind of disrupt the handheld market and the PC market a little bit. So anyway, there are two versions, the Ally Base and the Ally X. The base is white. The Ally X is black because black is cooler, I guess. That one's more high-end. We'll have a terabyte of space, very fast drive, 24 gig of RAM. I won't get too much into these specs. Faster and better battery. And those impulse triggers, I guess, which are like, I don't know, more granular trigger stuff with like haptics and everything.
It's Star Trek.
It is a little Star Trek-y. The other one will have less of all that, although they share the same screen, a 7-inch FHD IPS 120 hertz VRR Gorilla Glass screen. That mouthful basically is a step below OLED in terms of clarity, but and brightness, but is pretty good. It'll do HDR, do all the stuff you want to do. And VRR is kind of a new technology. It's basically the screen doing the variable refresh rates you need for various games. So this one's 60 hertz, this one's 120 hertz. This will go up to 120 hertz, so you'll get those buttery smooth 120 hertz, 120 frame per second, Bo, that you like, just flying at you, hitting you in the face.
That's
and
where I want them.
Here's the scary part. The current estimate is $599 for the base and $999 for the expensive one, high-end one. Those aren't set and finished, but if I had to guess, my guess is a little lower. $499 for the base, $899 for the other one. They're not saying price yet, but these will be out this fall, and they will compete with Steam Deck's, I guess in theory, Nintendo Switch 2s. Not in theory, they will, but they're, again, it's just another Ally. It's another Ally being made by ASUS, and this one just happens to be covered in Microsoft stuff, including a button like a home button and this new interface. So
I guess the key is just if they're Ally verified games that work really well.
They're claiming they're going to do that too, some sort of system with a verification.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what. There'll be a lot of other stuff you can do with it. You probably plug monitors in and stuff, but to me, the Steam Deck Verified is something I hear people talk a lot about. They just want it to run good on the handheld, and if they can accomplish that with the Ally, then people be happy, I think.
One nice bump is these will use Hall effect triggers and Hall effect sticks, which are way, 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 way better. Your two new controllers you guys got have Hall effect sticks, which means you'll never have drift on those things. Nintendo opted not to for the Switch 2. The original Steam Decks are not Hall effect. Probably the new Steam Deck 2, whenever that is a thing, will probably integrate that. I don't know why Nintendo didn't. It's really annoying to me because drift was kind of a big issue with the Switch 1. So
controllers still break. I don't have experience with the drift issue myself. I use a 15-year-old. Not anymore, but I was using a very old Xbox controller, and it probably drifts, and I just don't know. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna. I think like your irritation about that's gonna vary, but the point I was gonna make is just like controllers do break. Like I know it's expensive to buy a controller; it can be like $80 to $100 depending on what you get.
Yeah.
But they are gonna break.
Yeah, probably. The only bad downside for a handheld is they're the ones that came with it. And they're very specialized. So if something breaks, like in a Switch situation, nobody wants to go spend another $100 on a new set of Joy-Cons because one of your Joy-Cons snapped.
I guess where it really sucks, like if you're gaming on your system a lot and you blow through it, you'll invest in buying a good controller for that. Like usually they make sturdier. You won't use the default Nintendo Switch stuff. You'll use. I bought a controller to play Pokemon Unite with because the default stuff is kind of flimsy. Not great for esports.
Did you play it on TV or did you play it handheld mode? How'd you do it?
I both. Like mostly it was on TV, but like I could put a kickstand up and I'd play with the controller. I played it a couple times in handheld and it was torture.
That reminds
for Pokemon Unite. I'm not saying it's bad to play
Right, for a
I'm just saying,
competitive game like
for
that.
East, when I'm like mashing buttons like crazy, I knew it would be damaging to the controller. So I'm not using the flimsy default Joy-Cons, which I need to preserve the overall like product identity, I guess, on a game where I'm like, going Gorilla Glass on the controller, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
I don't know how much Nintendo has licensed out people being able to make the magnetic compatible Joy-Con replacements. That's something that's very interesting to me. Maybe you could get something better from somebody else.
I guess. Sorry, this is how I view it. It's like the if I were to buy a Switch now, family stuff's going to be different. So if you have a family, I'll address that in a second. But like personally, I'm just an adult. If I have a Switch, I'm buying the controller because no matter what, because my use case for the handheld stuff is only for light gaming. Anything that's like I'm playing Elden Ring Night Rain and I'm going like ham on the controls, I don't want to. I know whatever Nintendo comes with is going to be flimsy and shitty. I might almost have that fear with a Steam Deck or whatever. Like I said, I broke the X button on my $120 controller from mashing it too much. So I know everything eventually in my hands will break at some point.
I'm trying to imagine Bo with a Joy-Con going, all right, Elden Ring.
Yeah, like I might snap that thing in half. Like I'm not playing with it. Like if I want to keep it in good condition, like unless I'm traveling and I play a light game that's just like jump and attack, like a Super Mario game might be fine. Mario, please, grammar, please stop.
Yeah,
I'm Canadian. Okay,
Rogue, Mario, it's all the same. We're all good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, to a certain extent, it doesn't absolve Nintendo from, they still deserve the critique. I'm not saying they don't deserve the critique for doing better stuff. I'm just saying, with that handheld stuff, I'm very nervous about using the default controls.
Yeah, my main thing with the Hall
expecting them not to break.
My main thing with the Hall effect thing is that they are not any more expensive to. That could have been their design, and it wouldn't have cost Nintendo more money to make them. They're just a better design, and they last forever. So I don't know why they didn't
if
do
you have kids and you're just like buying them a couple controllers, and those controllers go to shit after like a month, I think I'd be enraged about that too.
But check this out, dude. You know that kickstand you mentioned, the old one sucked. The new one at least has this
you
full
mentioned this
body.
one's really, really good. Yeah, that looks way better.
And it's metal. It's like solid.
You know what a good kickstand does too? You can like prop that up next to your bed.
Yeah.
You can put on Faulty Towers and watch some John Cleese before you go to sleep.
That's right. Except the Netflix app isn't on there. I don't know why. It's weird that they didn't do it.
I found there's a lot of old movies on YouTube. I watched Saint Joan by George Bernard Shaw, like this 1950s movie.
Look at
or 40s maybe. The other day on YouTube.
What's it called again? Miss Joan?
Saint Joan.
Saint Joan?
Saint Joan. You know Saint Joan of Arc? Like
There's a guy later in our emails that would yell at us right now for being more conscientious about the name of a 1950s movie than the video games we play each week and that we never mention the names of.
Well,
we
not
get
just a
chewed out
movie,
for
but a religious figure, an actual saint, Saint Joan, the one that didn't want to wear women's clothes. She wanted to wear soldiers' clothes and fight in the army, and they burnt her at the stake for it.
Good Lord.
That's Saint Joan.
Seems a little extreme to be doing that.
About Saint Joan of Arc?
Oh, Joan of Arc, I knew that.
Yeah. God told her that she was to lead the army of France. I don't know how accurate the play was. I'm more familiar with the play than the actual history of the person.
Sure.
But, basically she was burned as a witch because she said God spoke to her and told her to dress like a man.
It was after she kicked all ass and like won a bunch of battles and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know the actual details, but yes, she was a rousing figure for people. They could help turn the tide of battle, right? I don't know what her fighting. I don't know how good she was actually at fighting, but
is that a good movie? Would you recommend it?
Do
you liked it?
So, well, it's a play by George Bernard Shaw, and yes, it's quite good. John Gielgud is in it, but he was a lot younger. It's good. I recommend it completely.
Nice. All right.
It's super watchable, actually, because it's a play, and it's like they've filmed it as a play on film, which is like it's not reliant on good camera effects because a lot of it's carried by the performances and dialogue. So it's just like super watchable.
Well, there you go.
But not historically accurate because it's follows the tragic form.
Yeah.
More than it does, kind of like how Shakespeare and Hamlet, all that stuff. They followed they use historical figures, but they're fictionalized to follow the purposes of the playwright over the, nowadays, if you're like based on a true story, it better be true or it's shit.
Yeah.
but they didn't really. The sensibility is not the same.
I'm a giant fan of Stage Nerd Bo when he comes out every once in a while.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about Henrik Ibsen, guys?
Nope, don't want to talk about him at all. Nope.
Enemy of the People. Pretty great. It was a pretty great movie adaptation of one of his plays. Or you guys want to talk about Daniel Day-Lewis?
Well, I like him.
A great movie.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
him, don't want to talk about.
I want to talk about his milkshake or whatever we got going on.
Drink it up.
Drink it up.
Anyways, back to this is not the theater podcast.
No, but it was fun. It was a fun.
It's called
detour.
Stage, the theater podcast. Started with me and Scott Johnson. Starting next week.
Hot new show coming to the Frog Pants Network. Get ready for it, everybody. But for now, let's do this. It's our first annual Showcase Awards. What? Well, here's the deal. Look, we had so much stuff, miles of it from last week. So many shows, so many presentations, one that we watched together, and then a bunch of others we kind of had to piece together, go into websites, trying to find out details we missed, look for trailers that we didn't see. It was a lot to take in. So instead of trying to cover them all, we thought we might recognize certain games that stood out for good or bad reasons. Again, this is really the mindchild of the great John Jagger, who joins us now. John,
Hi.
I didn't even ask you. Are you excited about a Microsoft handheld or no?
No.
Okay, moving on.
I already have a handheld that I'm using more, but not enough.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't need more handhelds in my life
All
right
right,
now.
we'll see what happens in November when they start reviewing it. I have no idea if I'm up for this or not. But let's
hear Ron Howard saying he'll have one.
yeah, maybe. But let's get to this. We're going to talk about this. Now, remember, we're going to just give you a little preface. Our tastes are our tastes. Tastes are subjective.
Preface in some countries.
Exactly. Preface. Some people at home may have very different tastes than we do about what games stood out to us or why they did or whatever. So just know that, and we're happy to have you share that with us. We'll share some of that on the show as we talk about these things.
No, but I want to make a comment on what you're saying, because the only thing I heard from people when I was like streaming or just in our Discord chats was, can't wait for a 5-hour core show where they talk about every single game like in existence this weekend.
That'd be a 10-hour show. That's what that would be.
Yeah.
I really like that Scott tried to, he did a very good job of sugarcoating what I wrote in the show notes, which was, and I'm going to say it and I'll own it, so anybody that gets offended by it, I wrote this.
Do it.
This was written by me.
Do it.
This week saw a ton of new game showcases. Instead of trying to cover all of them, we thought we might recognize certain games that stood out for good or bad reasons. If we didn't talk about the one you wanted us to talk about, it means we didn't care about it. And you are a bad person for thinking we should. And now your tastes are questionable to us.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
You really did. I really did sugarcoat it. More than I thought I did. Wow.
Yeah.
I've got to add a little bit onto this, though.
Do it.
Not add, but like just share my experience this weekend. I think I watched almost all the showcases, not the tiny ones, but I saw all of them. I didn't write anything down. So when I came to the show notes, I couldn't remember a single game. I saw them all. I feel like there was so much shit shoveled into my brain that my brain was like revolting against knowing anything. And fortunately, but also unfortunately, we do a show, we have to talk about these things. I had to go back and watch everything a second time.
Oh my Lord.
Not watch everything, but like go through the list and try to remember. I literally, there's only one game I could remember, which it's on my list because it was memorable, but I couldn't remember any of the other games, even though I had watched it, and it wasn't a second screen watching. We did a live stream of it where we talked. Mm-hmm. I watched the other ones like phone in my face, like not doing anything else. And I just couldn't remember anything.
I think it's because the sheer amount, like no human brain can be expected to remember all this.
So for half the games, like all our conversation is going to be, we saw the trailer. It looked cool. What do you think?
Some of these are like that. Yeah, for sure.
It's not, you guys might like it, and maybe we should just still do it. But it's not very engaging conversation when we're just like, yeah, it looks cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like what John did here, because we're gonna have the stuff that stuck out like sore thumbs or happy thumbs.
I just want to say it was like a shotgun blast of like stuff. Like it feels bad saying it's too much games, but it really felt like too much content.
Well, think of it this way: in the past, so when E3 was at its highest, you would have the E3 stage presentations. And those were a lot of information to take in, but they were also very kind of singular, and you would do the one, then the next, and they were usually a day apart, or at least a whole day would go by, and then a night one would happen. But they all kind of similar format. They were live. They were on these stages and that. And then everything else you heard through the grapevine of a reporter saying, hey, I got into a room and played this game no one talked about.
Right,
but now we're not doing that. This is, everyone gets their own presentation, their own way of presenting. Some are trying to be funny. Some are trying to be cool. Some are trying to have guys come out in stupid hats and make me never want to play their game. Like, they're all doing a different job this time around.
And there's some you didn't hear of, because Ziggurat sent me this link of everything announced, and there were fests that I didn't even know. There was a Wholesome Games Fest, for example.
I meant to watch that one. I didn't get a chance, because I do like a wholesome.
There were some good ones, like Women-Led Games Fest, which is like, I'm all for that, but I didn't watch that one. You know, it's like I didn't even know it existed until after it happened.
Right.
So
there was a lot.
You're right in that there was actual. If you're just thinking, oh yeah, there was a lot. There's like 4 festivals. I think there's literally like 18.
Yeah.
And there's still a Konami one to come up, I think. And I think the Konami one hasn't been done
today.
yet.
Konami. Yep.
Konami.
Konami?
I think it's Konami.
Is it Konami?
Konami. I like Konami.
Is that what they're always talking about? The government is like, oh, the Konami's not doing well.
Solid.
Well, here's what Konami. This is what
we have a bad Konami right now.
This is what they say. Konami. So it's actually close. Well, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares how anyone says it? Konami.
No, let's argue more.
No, yeah, it's fun. All right, well, let's get to it and talk about these things in these categories. John, first up, we have collective games of note, and the rules we're here. What, 2 or more per list we all chose, and
so
therefore
basically the idea was we all kind of put down the games that stood out to us. I think for this part, all for good reasons. And I went through the list, and there was only one game that all 3 of us were excited about, and then there were a couple that 2 of us were into. So much like what we do when we talk about what we played, I figured first we talk about the games that all, or at least 2 of us were excited about. That first one being Clockwork Revolution, which caught all of our eye. I'm gonna say right out of the gate, I think I'm in a different place with this game than you guys. I have a real bad sense that this game is gonna suck.
What do you tell me what you're basing that on? Because
we're not reviewing whether the game is good. We're just reviewing our reaction to the trailer.
Yeah, right. So watching the trailer, I'm like, man, if this is what it says it is, and it's good, this will be an awesome game. But the part of me that's been around and seen a game or two, I don't think this game is going to do it.
We've got the hardened gameplay.
Yeah, I've been down this road of excitement before.
But
this is a future disappointment. I really hope I'm wrong.
Okay, here's why
because I thought it looked really good. I wanted to give it the slap before everybody starts kissing.
Here's what I think's going on.
You've been burned before.
Yeah.
Here's what I think's going on with this game. This game feels like it went to Vegas and got married. 2 games got married. The first game that showed up and looked all hot was Infinity, or what's it called?
Bioshock
Infinite. Thank you. Jeez, I couldn't think of the damn name.
Infinity and beyond.
It's very Bioshock vibes going on here. Like, you can't deny that. Also, the other one that Bethesda made, they made 2 of them.
Outer Worlds?
No, I could see a little of that too, but no, it's the one that's kind of set in a steampunk universe like this. My brain, I did this last time we talked about this game. I can't remember the name of the game. Anyway,
Bethesda and steampunk.
Yeah,
is it Dishonored?
Yes!
That you're thinking of again?
Yes!
Again?
Arcane.
Again, it's not Bethesda.
I know. Well, they published it. I didn't make it, but they published it.
Yeah, they're probably involved.
Nobody
but it's
thinks that famous Bethesda game Dishonored. Everybody thinks the Arcane game Dishonored.
Well, sure. Yeah. But then Arcane made the vampire thing, and now we don't like them. But anyway, the point is, this looks like those 2 games came, copulated together, and then pooped out this. So my initial reaction is, if that's all this is, we're in trouble. If this is really special and it hits the bullet points it's claiming to be, like John said, then I think this looks like it could be very, very rad. But I don't know. I can't tell how deep these RPG systems are. They try to show that the dialogue systems are deep and reactive, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, we don't know, and it is just a trailer. But I guess this is how I evaluated it. This is not the first time we've seen anything from Clockwork Revolution. They've shown this game before. This is not a first-time world premiere deal.
Oh, I didn't know.
I forgot it. When did we do
I've
it?
apparently forgotten that I've seen this game
Well,
before.
Same.
that was my point. Is that this game has been shown, and it has not really registered. So this was the biggest zero to hero from marketing. Like, I remember when my wife was first watching it, I think we were watching it together. I'm like, oh, it's Clockwork Revolution. We've seen this, whatever. And, you know, I watched it and I'm like, damn, it's really long, really detailed. They showed a lot of systems. And I watched the second time and it like, this game looks like the people making it have thrown everything they possibly can into it. Now, again, it's a trailer and could be hype. But
Here's the reveal trailer I'll show to the
good.
people
Like, I
watching.
don't know what a company's supposed to do to get me interested in their game that these guys didn't do in their long ass trailer that showed a ton of systems and a ton of stuff. It looks incredible, and they're swearing in it.
This is the 2-year-old teaser, by the way. This is the teaser from 2 years ago, the one I'm looking at now.
Yeah.
I've totally forgot that 2 years ago they showed this. I have no memory of it.
I vaguely remember looking at this and probably making a joke about, oh, they're doing BioShock Infinite again.
Shit. You know
But-
what? Anyway, sorry. Yes, Bo, to your point.
The point is just like it's come a long way, and this thing. You're right. Like any game could turn out to be crap. I'd be surprised. It is In Exile Entertainment. They've made games people have enjoyed before.
Sure.
So it's not like they're and I just think they showed a lot of stuff. It's not like this isn't like a sizzle thing where it's like, here's a cool trailer. We don't have any gameplay. They showed gameplay. They showed a lot of different parts of the gameplay. Like, you've seen the game. Like you said, it's like BioShock. You know it's going to be in it. Whether it's going to be good or not, I don't know. It's probably worth your money to get some entertainment from as like a narrative. And probably it's on Game Pass. This is an Xbox deal. So
It
you're
is.
not
Yeah,
even- a lot of people
it'll be easy
are
to
not even
find
buying
out.
it.
Yeah.
So I think this was best in show for me. Like, it's just, even if it's a bad game, this was the best. This is the most exciting thing they showed.
It's the best presentation. One of the best
There's a
presentations.
reason it's here under games we're all excited for. And when I say that, like, I wouldn't put money on it being good, I hope I'm wrong. And this trailer they've put out makes me think I'm wrong. But we also got hyped about Anthem, is what I'm saying. It's like, it's not the first time that you've seen a trailer from what would be E3 or the time period and gone, my God, and then it comes out and you're like, uh-oh, something went wrong.
Yeah.
I want this game to be great because I think this trailer shows a whole lot of potential. And it does. The fact that this one stood out in a way that made me forget that I had ever seen anything of it again does tell me that there may be, focusing in the right areas in terms of both marketing it and what the game is depicting. So, I mean, I'm going to follow it, to quote an emperor, with great interest.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm really interested in it. I hope it's everything that it seems to be.
Yeah. You got Stanley Billings as the main character. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
that.
I know. I don't know why they made Stanley as the main character. I thought
there is a character creator, but they didn't make Stanley Billings.
They really did.
Character
Yeah.
creator. Yeah.
And this guy, he's got a
No,
real.
I think this game's going to be good. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a 10 on 10? I don't know, but I think it's going to be a quality release.
Too early to say, but we're going to keep an eye on it.
Certainly, I think what my point is just I went from nope, not going to swipe for that to I could see myself swiping for this. So
Yeah.
that's what you want to accomplish with this kind of thing. I think they did a phenomenal job, and it looks cool.
It looked pretty neat. Now, let's move on down to the British side of spy work and talk about 007 First Light. This is on Scott and John's list. I thought this was first, the Sony event showed it first? Is that where it was?
Yeah, this showed up at Sony, and for me, this is kind of the opposite of what I just said with Clockwork Revolution.
You know it's going to be good, and there's no way it won't be. It won't be.
I
No, it's
don't
more
know. When I
complicated.
look at it, I'm like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And then I think of the developer and how much I think like that last Hitman game, the last two Hitman games have been so good that I'm like, oh well, it's probably going to be good. This is one where I haven't been sold based on what I saw, but based on the pedigree of who's making it, I'm like, oh well, I would put money on this being good.
So you just hate In Exile then?
That's all it is.
No, here's the thing: In Exile is an unknown quantity to me. I don't think I've played a single one of their games, and none of their games stand out as man. They just knock it out of the park.
I think it's like they do Bard's Tale. Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, what do
I
we know them
they
from?
do Bard's
They did
Tale.
Wasteland.
Oh, Wasteland 3 was their last game. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I like their games.
Oh, they did do a Bard's
catalog
Tale.
that makes you go.
That's the
well,
company
they're
that made the
guaranteed to-
classic 2004 game, The Bard's Tale.
Exactly.
People like
Like-
Bard's Tale.
Torment Tides of Numeria, the sequel to Planescape.
Like
I don't
everybody
know.
has
It's gonna-
to have a first hit if they're going
What I'm
to
saying is
develop
these
a
guys
good
are-
catalog.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be their first one.
Sure.
What I'm saying is these guys are RPG guys. I think, and you like RPGs. Maybe you haven't played their games, but I think you might like. I think they're in good hands.
But back to
I think I
007.
might too. But yeah, let's
back to
talk about
007. Yeah. It's of course going to be good, and will release and be perfect.
I'm excited that Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance is in it.
Can't not see Henry. That's maybe the biggest problem is that I played Kingdom Come right before this, and I just keep thinking Henry's running
Yeah,
around.
he looks like Bond, and it's not that actor. We've already figured out who it is. It's the dude that played the Dexter prequel kid and all that, and that's great. Whoever that is great. But it's hard not to see his face in the same way that we couldn't not see Robert Pattinson in Expedition 33. So it just is what it is.
Henry lived forever, and
Yep.
now he's in modern times as a suave secret agent.
Burn it. Exactly. So he's in there rocking it. This looks like perhaps the action will have more. It'll be a little less sandboxy, maybe, than your typical Agent 47 business. But that pedigree of sneaking around doing dark shit at a party is there, and I'm stoked.
Why would they do that though? What if it is just Hitman but with a 007 skin? Would that be so bad? Like,
I mean,
No.
it wouldn't be bad.
I'd still like it. It's not what I would want from a 007 game, but I'd be like, all right, great. I'll be throwing cans of pasta at people to kill them just like before.
Yeah, I'm down for this game. I want to see more, though. We don't know enough yet. We will know more shortly. Now, let's talk about a game that I don't want to play, but might, but probably won't. But not
You're
because
definitely gonna. I
I'm
guarantee
surprised
you,
you guys
someone
put
is gonna
this.
buy
Yeah.
this game for you, Scott. I guarantee you. There's some games where I'm like, man, I hope people buy this game for Scott, but it probably won't happen. And there's some games I look at and I go, someone's definitely going to buy this game for
all right,
Scott.
what's
and
the name of the game for the audio listeners? They
Ill.
don't
it
know.
is ill,
ill.
which looks like
ILL.
Roman numeral 3 when you type it everywhere.
Yeah, nobody does the little L thingies in the typing,
Right.
so you kind of have to look at our 333.
Yeah, not a good word to start your sentence with, right?
Well, unless you're licensed to. No, that's not starting it though. Licensed to ill. We be
game
illin.
looks
It'd be like illness she wrote or something. Ill she.
You know
wrote.
what? Illness might have been a better title.
I don't know. Ill. I think if it's a good game, I think ill will.
Ill will.
Ill will stick around, and it'll be a
Ill
fun
will
thing
chill.
that people play with.
This is an Unreal 5 engine game that seems to be maximizing all things Unreal lets you do. It is absolutely gorgeous, graphically speaking, which is to say terrifying and horrible. It feels like I'm in a diarrhea town. I don't want anything to do with this place. It
very
seems
fleshy.
Yeah.
Everything in this is very fleshy. I feel like I can. You remember when Diego Luna was really obsessed with feeling Jabba the Hutt? That's kind of how I feel about the monsters in this. Everything looks like it has a texture. I just want to poke
Where are
at.
the zombie babies? Because that's what really. I mean, there's Killing Floor. There's games like that. Even though it looks good, it was the giant baby too.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the one that is just the
Yeah,
trailer.
this trailer doesn't look like the E3, the Games Fest trailer that showed kicking zombie.
This is basically
Yeah,
the
this is- I
extra.
think this is-
Because
Yeah.
it's not just that it's a scary, gross game. It's that it's messed up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really messed up. I think my words at the time were nope, no, I'm not, no, you know.
Yeah, there it is. There's the stuff.
Yeah, this is the one. Look, naked
Wiggly
man.
Yeah, and everyone's
Fingers,
naked.
naked
Scott saw
people.
penises.
I saw
in the
multiple
birthday.
penises.
Scott's seeing penises everywhere.
Rotting, disgusting, not good. Look at this. This guy coming out of the freaking diarrhea chute. F that shit.
It really does look like a diarrhea chute, too.
That's why I guarantee you someone's going to buy this game for Scott. He's grossed out from the trailer.
Is this multiplayer?
No, it's just a single-player game.
Because I really want to be there when you're playing this game.
I mean, you can come to the live stream if you want, but I don't. I mean, there's no way I'm ever spending a dime of my hard-earned. Look at this. Look at that.
Friendly guys.
This game has a smell to it, and I'm not used to that. Like, this stinks. Everything in here stinks.
See how his head hit the light above? That's awesome.
No, I mean, clearly we're looking at next-gen business going on here, but that's part of the problem. Like, F this shit. Look at that. The smear down the wall guy? Forget that. No way. Oh, and this?
It's coming.
Yeah.
There's the big baby.
Yeah, and then you want some little babies?
baby.
I got good news for you. Watch this. Here they come swarming.
Kick a little baby.
Oh,
Kick him while
shit.
he's down.
Look at that bullshit. And that's just a little close-up of the baby. Now I'm going to kick him. I hate it. I really hate it, but I also can recognize something awesome when I see it. I can tell that will be really something else. But do I want to play it? Probably not.
Well, Scott, get ready because there's already people in the chat saying, I think I'll donate this if he says he'll play it.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I have to.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Again.
I got to have
Mainly
friends
just
there.
because I want to play it, not because I really want to play it, but because I want to talk about it on the show with Scott.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to play it, I'm going to tell him which diarrhea chute I encountered.
Because the diarrhea shoots seem plentiful. They're everywhere. And there's penises on everybody. It's not great.
Yeah. But then there's the Fallout guy. I mean...
Yeah, that guy looked cool, like power armored looking guy.
Maybe you can get that armor and it's okay. The diarrhea won't get on you.
Might be all right. Anyway, that was the game Ill. We'll see how that goes.
Ill.
The next one up for me in particular, but also John put this on his list, is a game called Keeper from Double Fine. And I'm a huge Double Fine fan from the very beginning and love everything they do, really. I can't think of a Double Fine game I played that I didn't enjoy. Some really enjoyed. And if anything, this seems like more of a return to... I just played the series. What's wrong with me? The one where you run around. Psychonauts. Thank you.
Yeah.
This has got, platforming, more of a physicality. It's not point and click adventure, but it does appear to, probably have a lot of their signature story and dialogue and all that. But you're a lighthouse who uproots and starts walking around, looking for a meaning to life, and you got a bird with you, and you're walking around spider-like on legs, and it's beautiful. Look at the colors in this. Look at that.
Yeah, the art in this is really spectacular. And the thing that definitely put this on the list for me is my son saw the trailer for this.
Yeah.
And it captured him in an amazing way.
Good
for
man.
whatever reason, my son's favorite thing is the idea of buildings stomping around.
Yep.
I don't know why. We keep watching the movie Dogman Dogman, because there's buildings that walk around in that movie, and that's really the only part of the movie he cares about. Like the early bits, he's like, when are the buildings going to show up?
Is that the little policeman dog? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to see that.
It's the movie where they put a dog head on a person body, and then they kind of gloss over the fact that this means one of those two beings is dead.
Yeah.
They're just sort of like, oh, they put a good head on a good body. Mm-hmm. Ignore the fact that there's broken halves that are gone.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
It's cute, but again, he just likes the buildings walking around.
Have you shown him Hal's Moving Castle, or is that too subtitle-y, too Japanese story-ish? You know what I mean?
It's probably too subtitle-y for him. I don't know. He doesn't always pay the best attention anyway. So it's got he is made for Godzilla movies. Like if there was less talking in Godzilla movies, he would be all in right now because he just likes buildings getting smashed and big things tearing through things and buildings moving around. Like that's his jam. So Keeper looks awesome to him, and so maybe that'll be a game we play together because it looks like it might be good for him.
I'm actually very excited about it, and it isn't just how it looks. I just like the pedigree. This is a dev that I've never walked away from going, man, that was a bummer. I don't think I ever felt that way, except for that they had a space sim game that they put into early access on Steam many years ago and then bailed on it like really early in the process and didn't we're just kind of like, oh, well, that didn't work out. But then, people who paid for it. That was a bummer. That was prior to the Microsoft buyout. Maybe they were desperate. I don't want to make excuses for them, but I was really annoyed by that. Other than that, though, their games are great. They make bangers, so this looks good. But it doesn't look like your kind of game, though. You know, kind of wandering around in a lighthouse doing stuff.
I mean, it looked cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll play it. Probably.
Yeah, unless you can pull out a shotgun and like kill other people.
I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I'm just
right.
I don't know.
Unless this is a new character in Heroes of the Storm, I don't think Bo's playing it.
I mean, we all have our tastes, right?
Yeah.
So
it's more like tower offense, running around with a bird.
That's true. It's tower adventure, I think.
Oh, there you go. Brand new genre. Tower adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe they're on the cusp of something. Like, you never know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think I'll play that, and I could be missing out on the best experience of my life.
I mean, it's basically Banjo-Kazooie, but we replaced the bear with a sentient lighthouse.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. It's much more colorful, I'll tell you that. You guys tell me why you're interested in Stranger Than Heaven, because it's obvious. It's obvious to me. No, I definitely am. I didn't put it on my list, but I'm kind of there with you.
But we're like RGG heads, so it's probably a little higher on our like temperature. Like because I'm this is RGG Studio, man. What do they do? And it's a new thing.
Are you concerned that it's not in the Yakuza line as a whole new game, or is that good?
I mean, it definitely takes place in Japan, so it's a Yakuza game as far as I'm concerned.
They're still playing to their strengths, Like,
I mean, there's two.
They're doing what they're good at.
There's the Judgment series, which is Judgment Lost Judgment, and that is not Yakuza, but it's completely all the assets, and it's completely Yakuza, and like the characters cross over in the story. I have no doubt you're going to play this game, and then they're going to release like Yakuza Cowboy, Super Cowboy with whoever, and they'll be like a guest appearance from a character in Stranger. Like this, there'll be crossover for sure. But no, this just looks. I think what's been a little bit missing for me about like as the Yakuza games goes on is it gets really modern, and while it's kind of funny, I think the period piece of like the 90s is peak Yakuza, like clamshell cell phones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so this promises to be like, I think it's like 1930s or 1940s. It's going to feel very foreign because this isn't, American history. It's like a Japanese period, and it's going to be real cool. Yeah. There's going to be nothing quite like it. So I'm stoked.
It's a little weird.
I don't even know if the main character is Japanese because they don't really answer it, but he's like, the American guy's like, wait, you're not a Jap? And he's like, I don't know what I am. He's almost Nash Maggarding.
Yeah. I
don't even know if I have a heart.
Right. I don't know. It looks good. I think it's going to be great. And like, there's that one scene in the trailer where like it's a bunch of people. It's like, I guess, a ramen shop or something. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And then you and another character get up and fight, and the crowd's like running to get away, and you're like pushing through the crowd, and it feels cinematic. And it's those moments that you live for when you're playing an RPG game.
What do you think, John? You stoked? Clearly you're excited.
Yeah. I mean, I think I feel about the same way. Like, it feels like a studio that I know puts together like really solid game experiences, and this one feels like a different vibe, a different kind of tone. But it's one of those things where it's like they're very good at this sort of stuff, and so when they get to just sort of focus on the narrative and the tone, which are things that again they're already really strong with, it just gets me excited.
There's also like an 80% chance, maybe 70% chance, like what we're seeing looks different than the other Yakuza games, but there's a 70% chance that's just the Sotenbori map, but 80 years ago. And the other map's going to be Kamurocho. And you just be like, it's a Yakuza game.
That is something they do. I mean, they reuse assets all the time, so why wouldn't they?
They reuse it, but it's meant to be a geographical area, right? So they're just like, it's quasi-fictional geographical area, and they just keep... It might be new assets to fit the time period, but then you're going to look at the map and be like, this is the same map I've played in 8 games.
Yeah.
Like you'll know where everything is. So. And it's just fun.
Well, it looks cool. You guys aren't wrong.
I think it's going to be great.
You think there'll be lots of mini games and stuff? Probably.
Hell yeah! I think they had a karaoke, but it was a gramophone. It was a real quick cut, and I didn't stop it to look, but I just caught a little bit of it. It looked like gramophone karaoke. So.
And there was some cigarette thing, mini game he was doing. Couldn't tell what he was doing there.
For sure, there's going to be 800 mini. It's an RPG game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you know what?
It doesn't say Yakuza, but it's basically a Yakuza game until proven otherwise. Like,
if I had a top 10 list, this would be in the top 5 of I want to see how this goes. Games,
It's just hype. They always. I find they make hype trailers, and it's good.
Man, 1943 in Japan. That's a wild time to set this in. We're talking like end of World War II. The bombings are over.
Also, like more of a peak period for Yakuza, because the Yakuza stepped in during those times to help. Like, they're viewed as like heroic because there was no government, or the government was in shambles, and they were the ones holding society.
The vacuum of power, or whatever they call that. And,
like it's not really like, because they're not like, you think they're like the mafia of Japan, but like the mafia is like fully criminal. There's been periods where Yakuza have been like the reigning local government. So and they. It's more the Japanese honor thing. Like there's periods where they've been heroes, or where they've at least helped society, and it's not all. Yeah. It's not all just like bad. I mean, they mostly do bad things, but it's just different.
Every society's guy has a time where their organized crime has to step up.
It's because of the politeness. Like there's things that they won't solve because of like honor, or like, and so like the Yakuza who might step in and do things that wouldn't get solved because the way they conduct them, the way that politicians conduct themselves can sometimes go against reason, I guess. So
sure.
Kiryu represents like the noble hero Yakuza, the good guy Yakuza, which is mostly they do criminal shit, I guess, but there is a good side and their history is from like from the Edo period, is that they were the warrior caste, and when they got rid of that stuff, the warriors became Ronin, and some of those Ronin organized into groups that eventually became Yakuza. So they have a history of being the warrior caste as well.
Goes all the way back.
Yeah, so it's just like you can make games from like tons of periods and draw that connection. I'm not an expert on it, so I might have gotten shit wrong. So please,
I think some of those straw hats in Tsushima, those guys are Yakuza dicks.
Well, they're getting away with it all.
Yeah. Well, you're playing like that's the history of it.
Not getting stopped by Scott.
Not that I'll ever see them to their ultimate fruition in this story, but maybe I will. You never know. We'll see.
Because it's like a caste system. If you were like a warrior, it's not like you're like, well, there's no more need for warriors anymore. I guess I'll be a farmer. It's like, no, you were born as a warrior, so you'll never do that kind of stuff. Kind of like what frickin' Sir Dingleface does in Kingdom Come Deliverance when you ask him to carry those grains. He's like, I'm a noble. I can't be seen to be carrying grains.
Sir Dingleface.
It's kind of like that. Like, you're a warrior, so if no one's going to feed you, you're just going to kill people and take their food. And like, there's, obviously those guys are bad guys. And some of the warriors would be recruited to defend against the worst of the warriors.
Right.
And that's, yeah.
Do we know much about why it was changed to Stranger Than Heaven instead of whatever it was called before, Century something?
Project Century?
Is that just the project name and now we have a title? Is that what that is? That's probably what it means.
I guess so, because they did say Project Century at the start of the trailer and then morphed it. So
also the time change. It was originally the 20s, and when they talked about this prior, and then
I think it was called Project Century because it was announced much earlier. Because I saw some articles of speculation from ages ago. So I think it was just a working title.
It's kind of fun to watch how that goes. You both put on. Let's swing back to the Sony event. You both put on here Marvel Talkin' Fighting Souls.
Hell yeah!
This art style is enough for me to get excited about it. But what in particular here is scrubbing your chud?
I mean, the art style's pretty good. I really like when you get unique takes on characters. To me, go back and look at when Marvel tried to do their big Avengers game and they revealed that, and everybody looked like Temu cosplaying Avengers.
Oh, that was so bad.
And it was like, why don't you guys put this is a comic book medium. It's about art. Why are you going for this look? Like, there should be art to it. And to see somebody come in and go, we're going to do our interpretation of these characters with a very Japanese lean on the design, like a celebration of things we think is great. You know, that's why Iron Man looks like a cross between Iron Man and a Gundam. Like, it kind of celebrates both things, and I think it looks amazing. Arc System Works makes fighting games that I can actually play, which is very impressive because I am terrible at fighting games. I love fighting games so much, but I am I think the worst fighting game player on the planet. I will find a way to clutch defeat from the jaws of victory in any given circumstance.
I'm with you on this this entire thing. You sound like you're talking about me. I love fighting games for what they are. I hate them for how bad I am at them. And I love the fantasy of them and the idea of them. And when I'm playing somebody who's as bad as I am, or I'll rather than be negative, I'll say someone who is equal to my skill level. That's a blast because you're going to have close fights. They're going to end in cliffhangers. Like, there's really no better feeling than fighting games with your friends where it's just you're eking out a win and you want to keep going till 3 o'clock in the morning. But when it gets real competitive and you start realizing where metas are and, you know, frame anticipation, all the shit they do, I can't play at that level. So
yeah, you know. I'm never going to, and that's what makes this stuff, like this game, so good. Is, you know, I played Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which was one of their previous games. They also do the Guilty Gear games, but that game was so good, and it let you feel like a badass without having to learn an insane amount of stuff. And I just have a lot of faith that they are going to pull off this like 4v4 tag thing in a way that I can actually play it. On top of, again, the art just looks incredible. So all those things together is what.
That was my takeaway. Is like, I don't play fighting games and probably won't buy this one, but the animation just made me so happy, and like everything about the style. And I did find a YouTube channel that records Mortal Kombat fights in VR 180.
Oh wow!
So you can watch them fully in Street Fighter in 180, and they look amazing as hell. Like,
oh wow!
Mortal Kombat fights in virtual reality, like just. I can't play it in virtual reality. It's just video, but the guy doing it is like doing a great job.
That sounds like so much fun to walk around the fight and watch it.
Yeah, and he does like I think the fight. He might even program the fights like to be like close and stuff. Like it's actually fun. So it's not like, I mean, I think I spent an hour or two just watching matches, and it's Mortal Kombat. So when they're tearing apart people in 3D and their bones are coming out, it's like, oh my God, this is terrible. This is so horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh no, Kitara, like, don't rip her in two. Oh no.
So John, these guys are known for, you mentioned this before, they're Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Persona 4 Arena Ultimix, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and then now this one. So pretty good pedigree. People are pretty fond of those games.
Yeah. They're really good. And again, approachable is a big part of it.
Yeah. They used to do contract work for Sega back in the 90s, and they just kept growing and doing more stuff. And I'm looking at their pages, some pretty wild stuff. It's pretty cool.
I like their takes on all the heroes, like their style with them.
Oh, they're amazing. Cool. They're so cool looking. So watch for that one coming out this year, I think. End of year, I think.
What's a Tokon, though?
Yeah, what is a Tokon?
I don't know.
I don't either. Marvel Tokon. It's got an accent.
I assume it's a Japanese word.
Only we had a system to find out words we don't understand.
Well, let's see.
Go to the translator here. Tokon.
I'm going to find out. Tokon literally means fighting souls in Japanese.
Oh, so it's Marvel fighting souls.
Yeah, Marvel fighting souls. Yeah, it's repeating itself.
Well, maybe it's there for, Fighting Souls is there for us. And
Marvel Talkin' is, but wouldn't we want Marvel Fighting Souls, and they would have Marvel Token?
AI overview says it translates to fighting spirit or martial spirit.
Yeah, so okay. I think it's fine.
It fits. It's fine.
Oh, no, but yeah, this kanji means fight. This kanji means soul or spirit. Okay.
It's better than them. There's a million worse titles. This is fine.
But also, like, I think there's some things about Japanese that is really silly that we don't understand, because there's this TikTok account that I've been been shown to me where like common words that we know like that are Japanese, when you actually translate to what they mean, are actual nonsense. Like I think one was like konnichiwa just means like what is. So you're just saying what is
Really?
to somebody.
I've done that.
Yeah. Like I can't remember the name of the account. It's like, but it's just like it just completely ruins the mystique of the Japanese language when you're like Western. You're like, oh, konnichiwa, but like they're actually like, it's really stupid what you're saying.
Listeners,
That's
I want to
all.
apologize to people listening only to the show, but I want to point out to John, just so he can enjoy this, Bo's hair in the rear of him there is flowing like a romance novel. It's awesome.
I know it is. It's really
Because your hair's
flapping in
blowing.
the wind.
I love
fan.
it. I love it.
Okay.
Don't change. I love it.
All right.
Moving on to our list now. Those are the ones that we all kind of agree on to one level or another, and we'll see how they all hold up. Here's my list, and I want you to hear me out on this first one, everybody, okay?
I actually almost put this first one on my list.
Okay.
So,
I don't feel so
I don't
bad
have
then.
to hear you out, but I will hear you.
All right, hear me out. I'll explain why, and maybe you'll agree, but Super Meat Boy 3D grabbed me because I kind of have a history with Super Meat Boy. I always loved it. It was such a send-up of Mario games, and I liked when it was at its peak because it flew in the face of what made Mario Mario, and it was before everybody else was doing these really hard precision platformers that meant death, 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 death. Finally, you made it. No game made me swear more in my household than that game in 2005 or 6, whatever it was. My kids who were little then were like, Dad, you have to put lots of money in the swear jar. I'm like, not for this game.
I bet.
It was really, really something. But this looks like not only a return to that, but a return to that in a 3-dimensional plane, or at least 2.5D
Looks like
plane.
you're going to be doing a lot more swearing.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And this thing where they show all the guys jumping at once, that's not multiplayer. That's other deaths you've had during that run.
Yeah.
Which is how that game
I never
will.
played the first one, but it looked cool.
Yeah,
So
and they
this
even
looks
got the
cool,
they even got the guy at the end here. See if I can get the sound from it. Who did the original? Yeah, check this out. Wait.
AD! Super Meat Boy 3D!
It's like the same announcer.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Anyway,
Cool.
I for whatever reason that one stuck out, and part of it is that the last time they tried to do they did an auto runner game that was on mobile and stuff, and I really didn't like it. It was just not a good time. So I want them to get back to their former glory, what made them great in the first place, and I think this might be it.
Right.
So
It looks good. It looked good. I definitely thought highly of the trailer.
yeah,
I loved how demented that first one's cutscenes were at the end of stages.
yeah.
Like the one boss that's just making a little kissy face at Meat Boy, and then he kicks him and permanently disfigures him on accident.
Yep.
And, like it was like that new grounds level humor, but as somebody who grew up with that, I appreciated somebody calling out to it again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, if they can just get that feeling back of that, hair of your teeth, I made it finally after 400 tries. And speed running, by the way, some of the most fun speed runs I've ever seen are Super Meat Boy speed runs. So much fun to watch that stuff. So if they can bring some of that in here and just, I don't know, make Super Meat Boy cool again. That's what I want. So we'll see. I put on this list Felt That Boxing. Mostly I'm just curious. I won't say I think this is going to be great or anything, but these puppets have me so curious. I just need to see what they're doing. And we'll see soon enough how this, like, are the puppets actual video? Are these captured and then animated? I don't know what this is. I just can't.
No, I think a lot of this, well, I don't know about the trailer, but there was definitely some stuff that was in engine, because there's some parts where if you look at the Muppet fur, it's clipping through itself.
Oh.
Now, again, I don't know about this part because I think there's a chance that maybe some of it was actual puppets. But I definitely saw a part in the trailer where it was conveying gameplay, and you could actually see some of the little Muppet fur clipping through in the way that a video game would.
Sure. But
It's a testament to how good they were capturing it that I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this is in engine and it just looks real. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I need to know more, and that's really where I'm at with it. It looks like it's got a great sense of humor. It looks like it's not going to pull any punches as far as content goes. Oh my gosh, that toilet. It's just something here. I don't know what it is. I don't even like boxing games. Like, is this going to play like, Final Fight Punch Out, or not Final Fight, Punch Out's what I meant. If it's going to play like that, I'm less interested gameplay wise, but I really do want to see what this is.
It just looks funny. Yeah. Like, I will say I don't know if it's going to play well, but it definitely looks funny. I will, even if it gets bad reviews and they're like, oh, it's garbage, I will probably watch somebody play it at the very least, because I think it looks hysterical.
Yeah, it looks cool. The Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2, I watched the full presentation on that, the after Microsoft event, and they did deep dives on those two games. I don't have a ton to add here or much to say, because I think they're pretty known quantities. Grounded 2 is more grounded. It is set in a park instead of the backyard. They're really leaning in on what made that game work the first time. I think that's a cool survival game, and they really nailed the whole, like, shrink me down, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid size, early 90s vibes, running around the yard killing spiders. And those spiders genuinely freaky. There's no way you played that first game with spiders on, right? I think you played some, but you turned them spiders off, right, Bo?
No, I didn't play the Grounded. No.
Okay, because it's probably good you didn't. I know you can do the amorphous ball thing.
I saw that. Yeah, I just wasn't even going to bother with it.
It was scary as shit when those spiders come around. I hated that.
It did seem like it was like the spiders were pretty nasty looking from the original trailers or whatever.
They should call it Escape the Spider-Verse. I did like this fake He-Man
and
thing.
There's just so many games I can just avoid it. It wasn't. Sometimes you're like, man, I really need to play this game. Like Skyrim has nasty spiders, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Skyrim's a lot of fun. You deal with it.
This dorky cartoon they have at the beginning made me laugh in the trailer. For those at home listening, it's do seek it out. But the whole thing starts with this news idea that these kids were finally rescued, but now there's trouble afoot, and now you're in the park, and it's more public, and there are buildings and all that stuff.
Oh, now you're part of an actual freedom fighting force.
I think so. It's hard to say because they didn't get that too much into it. But this summer, meaning in a couple of weeks is all, I think, you'll be able to get into the Steam early access on this thing, and I think early access via Game Pass. So they're going to do an early access period again like they did last time. Could be really... Oh, look at that hot dog. Could be really cool.
I mean, some kids, too, really love bugs. My sister was a bug maniac, loved bugs.
Oh, yeah, my daughter's that way. She saves them all. If there's a spider in peril, she's there to fix it. So I'm with you there. Yeah. It seems neat, but it's not even that. I don't even really. We'll talk more when we talk about Dune Awakening, but the survival genre is not even my thing, really. It's not my jam. I don't love it or hate it. I just not that excited about it usually. But these guys are so good at like throwing in Obsidian kinds of RPG elements and making it feel like a bigger, broader, deeper thing. I have high hopes for it. But that and Outer Worlds 2 both impressed me. Outer Worlds 2 just seems bigger, more in depth. That's a game I played twice all the way to the finish. I am excited about that. And that's pretty soon, actually. When do we get that?
Yeah, you're going to be Outer Worldsing soon, I think. The Outer Worlds.
Maybe too soon. Let's see, when is that?
Whoa, $99.99.
Nope, sorry, October. Yeah, $80 for that game.
It's getting a lot of flack right now for its price, which we've got we've got somebody handling it the way maybe Randy Pitchford should have. They came out and said, yep, that is not our call. We wish as many people as possible could play the game. It's unfortunate, that there'll be some people put off by the price, but we hope you'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
That's basically what they said, which is a much better way to handle it. I will tell you, I really like Outer Worlds. I think $80 is too much for video games, but I do think that this being on Game Pass will help a little bit.
It will.
With that.
And they couldn't come out and really say, just get it on Game Pass, you bunch of losers. Like they would have really burned some bridges.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm glad they didn't.
It is another option for people that have it. It's part of the reason why, I get a little extra annoyed at Nintendo is there isn't an alternate path for their nonsense. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, you have Game Pass and very likely to go on sale at some point as well. And so those two options I think are good for this. That just you don't see on the Nintendo side. So I don't think this game's worth $80, and I say that as somebody that really likes the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that that's the direction they're going. Maybe if nobody buys it, we can convince them to not do that anymore.
Yeah, we kind of thought that we were hoping that might happen with Nintendo, and it didn't. They sold a ton. It's the best selling. It's the best selling console in recent history. So
it's just it's people suckling at the teat and then taking a break to be like, why do people keep doing this?
It's like, man, this is expensive. Why are we doing this?
I can't understand why companies keep doing this.
I mean, hell, I was on the teat this week.
That is the most disturbing way I've heard it put.
I spent $80 on a game this week. I'll talk about it later, but then I have regrets. We'll talk about it.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Let's move on to John's list. This first one is not a surprise and also high on my list, but I'll let you take care of it. What do you want to talk about here?
Yeah, let's talk about Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. This is really just there because it's about time. When I started playing through, before a big long break that I keep getting reminded of, a Ghost of Tsushima Scott-like break, playing through all the Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
One of the games that I got asked the most while I was playing is, are you going to play Tactics? Are you going to play Tactics? Are you going to play Tactics? And the thing I always said was, there's really no good legal way for me to play Tactics. I don't have a console with it on it. I'm not going to play the mobile version of it. Like, it's just really not easily available in a legal way, which I know for a lot of people is not a big deal. It's a big deal for me. And I don't have an easy way to stream it, and that's why I wasn't going to do it. But this showed up a long time ago as something that was getting remade, and here it is. It's finally here, a way to play it. I think it's really cool that they're doing full voice acting. I think it's very cool that they're also just releasing the original game for people that are maybe like, no, just give me the original. I don't want your changes. I just want a good way to play this game on modern systems. I think that's the right way to do it, and I'm really excited to play it because I have actually I've never put a decent amount of time into the original Final Fantasy Tactics, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be... I love that game. The PSP version was my favorite. I think it's the game where I started to actually like turn-based combat, because prior to that, I was kind of a butthole about it. I didn't think it was fun. I was like more of a real-time guy, and I felt like only old people played RTSs, and maybe they do or not RTSs, but turn-based. I aged into it because now I love them. I love them so much, and when you tell me your thing is turn-based, I get excited. And this is such a classic. And being able to play it the old way if you want to, or new pretty graphics, new systems, quality of life stuff, combat order. They've added a ton of things to it just to make it more of a modern take on that kind of game. Very, very cool. I'm excited about that for everybody, especially for all my friends who I know people who want to freaking marry and put their wieners inside of that game. They love that game.
Ugh.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, people have put their wieners in Stranger Things.
I agree. They surely have. People on Stranger Things have put their wieners in Stranger Things. So all I'm saying is those people finally get what they've been begging for like 30 years. And I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them.
Please remove me from this conversation.
Bo's like, I'm going to gracefully step away.
Bo has left the conversation. Anyway,
well, with that, let me naturally transition to Resident Evil 9, also known as Resident Evil Requiem.
Office Simulator. Oh, sorry. This year's big takeaway was like 5 trailers all had offices in them.
Scott's just mad because he thought he had a new Chorecore game.
He was like, finally, FBI Office Simulator. It's my time.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a game that someone's going to probably make him play.
Yep.
This game, not only was it very well executed with a kind of mid-show, like, hey, we're going to talk about the next Resident Evil when we're ready.
Yeah.
And, like, I was mad. I was like, why the hell did we devote time to this? What are we doing?
Oh, they got you.
Yeah, they got me. I was the total mark for that.
We heard you're looking forward to Resident Evil news. Well, screw you, big guy. Nothing coming.
I was mad for the rest of the show till this happened. And we got our first look at Resident Evil 9, which looks incredible. Looks like our main character here she's actually related to a character from Resident Evil Outbreak, which was the multiplayer Resident Evil game for the PlayStation 2.
Jeez Louise. Not a good game either.
It's a real deep cut. Man, I have some fond memories of playing Outbreak.
Yeah, but critically though, you have to. I mean, it's not great.
Like
we were one of 4
we
people
were
playing that game, right?
on the PS2 with the PlayStation modem installed in it on the telephone to play that video game. That's how we were playing it. But she's related to a character from Outbreak. This game is rumored to have a returning character who appears in all good Resident Evil games and one really bad one that is near and dear to my heart. One cool thing that we have found out, so it turns out that a bunch of people have had a chance to play a little snippet of this game, and their ability to talk about it happened, I think, yesterday, because all of a sudden all the news sites had it. This game is both first and third person. You can pick how you want to play it.
Oh,
so
wild.
if you've been a real big fan of what they were doing with the Ethan games and having it be first person, you can play the game that way. If you're like, no, Resident Evil is a third person series, that's how I feel about it, you can play that way, and you can switch anytime that you want it through the menu. You just change it. The game doesn't have to be rebooted or anything. You just change it in the menu. I also heard that, Scott, you will love this, that this game does seem to feature a frequent antagonist that is chasing you. They said seems very heavily inspired by a monster from the movie Barbarian.
No.
Mr. X is coming back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Mr. X in the form of that milk lady, that's a terrifying concept right there.
Yep, I knew you'd be excited for that, Scott.
Shit.
Looks like we're going to be going back to Raccoon City, at least for part of it. You got to see, the nuclear blast and all of that. So lots of cool things. I've heard that it's very heavily horror focused, so not going to be your Village or 4 action-y game.
It's going to be like 7.
At least not on the outset. Going to be a little bit more horrifying.
It's going to be like 7.
We'll probably have to play.
7 is still in my blood. Seven's the grossest thing they ever made. It was terrifying to this minute. I love and hate 7 so much for what it was. And if that's what they're making again, oh man. Do you remember the grandma in the wheelchair? Do you remember those big oily guys that came out of nowhere? Do you remember all that? Do you remember the kitchen?
I don't know if they will ever go that far again. I have heard, I don't know how true this is. You can all go look it up yourself. But I have heard that people that are curious why 8 was a much more action-y turnaround from 7 is because 7 was deemed too scary and actually suffered critically as a result in certain regions.
I would not be surprised at all to believe that. I would believe that.
Yeah, like it was a successful game, but that there was a general criticism of it was too scary.
And they were aiming for the VR crowd too very early on because they're trying to be kind of upfront first for PSVR, and that was a big deal part of the selling point of the thing. So I think they really leaned into first person horror, and they ran away with it. And it is the most scary game I've ever played, and that includes everything. I played a lot of gross games.
That includes everything.
That includes all things.
When I say it's the scariest game I've ever played, I'm talking about every game I ever played.
Yeah, it made 8 made it seem like nothing. Like 8, or no, I'm sorry, the other way around. 7 made 8 seem like a party, and 8 was fun and had moments. You were there, so you know I had my moments. But
a big baby.
It's not quite the same. 4, not quite the same. Remakes of 2. Oh, there were things in 2 remake that got me pretty bad. Any of the Mr. X shit.
You had a hard time with being chased.
Yeah, I don't like that. Hate that. Ugh. But like
it's less scary overall, but the idea of someone pursuing you from room to room, I think, really gets you at a primal level.
But 7 took us to a place where, and this was the first big return after 6, which was not considered great and was some time prior. It's like a big next generation thing for the PS4. And one of the first bosses I have to fight is a lady with a giant bee's nest in her crotch. F that game, dude. F that shit.
If you don't clean your crotch, that's what happens.
Where else are bees going to live?
Got to call the bug man and get him out there and get that taken care of. Anyway, Final Fantasy 7 or 9 Requiem. What? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't
Resident Evil 9?
Sorry. What is? Isn't there a Resident Evil game that was kind of a one-off, weird offshoot thing called Requiem? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I thought there was some action.
I mean, Requiem gets used a lot. It's a fancy word that means something. And it gets used a lot in titles of things.
I think they like it because they can put the 9 in Requiem.
Oh.
They've gotten real big on hiding the number in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Resident Evil Village, they hid the 8 in there.
Yeah.
Requiem, you just turn the Q into the 9 and it's like, oh, look at that.
I know what it is.
So,
it just hit me. It's Revelations I'm thinking of. Another R word. That's what it was. That was not a good game either. Revelations was bad. If I remember right. Came after 6. Anyway, you're right. The goal from now on is to hide the number in the name. And they're doing a great job. Good job, guys.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Keep on going.
Yep. Not since for 3 year have I enjoyed a hidden letter in a game. What else? Oh, I love this third one you got. Tell us about this.
Honestly, I put this one up here because most of the games I had on my list were on your guys' list. Like, my list was 2 games at first, and I was like, I need to put something else on here. So I just put on Mouse PI for Hire, which I also forgot about the Mortal Kombat collection that's being done, so special shout out to that. Yep. I'm super excited for that, but I forgot about it. But we already kind of talked about it because it was on this PlayStation one. But Mouse PI for Hire, again, I don't know if this is going to be a good game, but I love the animation of this game. And they showed like 30 seconds in this new trailer. We've already seen it. Yeah. But every time I see this game, I just think, oh my God, it looks so cool. Yeah. I just love the way it looks. The same way I felt about Cuphead.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It's hard to even describe. I don't know how to describe it. It's that Cuphead era art. It's like 20s, 30s animation, but first person kind of boomer shooter action. I will be playing this game. There's no doubt about it.
It looks like Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very specific era in time. The aesthetic is, it's so neat that we can even do this. Like this right here is crazy. Yeah. And Troy Baker's in it as Jack Pepper. What else can you ask for?
Jack Pepper the mouse.
Yeah, Pepper the mouse. Who would have thought? All right, there's John's list. Bo, let's talk about your new stuff. Well, you got just really one on here. What? Tell me about this.
I got a lot.
He's got a lot. You have to scroll down further.
But I sorted it out into stuff that we could just go through quickly. Like so.
All right. I see what you did. Okay, no, I got it now.
On the big ones, yeah. So the big ones we already talked: Clockwork Revolution, Stranger Than Heaven. But the other one, the one I remembered, the most important announcement for me was The Expanse: Osiris Reborn, which literally opened looking just like an episode of the TV show and has the TV show music in it. And it's made by Owlcat, so that's your Warhammer Rogue Trader guys.
Yeah,
and another studio. And the Pathfinder games. But I was not expecting this, and the trailer looked badass, and then they showed gameplay, and it kind of looks like Expanse Mass Effect.
It's expensive.
Everything about this trailer is like, yeah, you have my money. It's just a question of when you want to have it. It looks incredible.
When would you like my money?
When would you like this money?
When do you want my money? I will 1,000. I love Expanse. This is like one of my favorite things ever for like TV. I have some of the books, but I didn't really read them.
Oh, you should read them. They're so good. They're great.
Yeah, they're probably much better than even the TV. But the TV show is quite goated.
Yeah, it's very good.
And it's like one of my favorite things about the show is like they all wear those gravity boots. So when someone gets shot, no one falls to the floor. They just float there.
Yep.
With stuck, which is just like it's just this nice iconic touch to the franchise that whenever they like pay attention to stuff like that, and I think the game is going to go hard on that. Definitely, the combat in this was like that same sort of like hard SF. You're not some superhero. Like she's just using clever tactics in space to get her kills of the enemy team. It looks cool. I don't know. I'm super stoked. I want to play this. I want it now.
Yeah, you know what? It should have been on my list.
And the trailer is good.
I kind of forgot.
It's a really good the trailer. It just in and of itself super watchable, action packed, well done.
Did it surprise you that Owlcat has this up their sleeve suddenly out of nowhere? It did
Yeah,
me.
yeah. This is the most like what the what? Like no, some games you have a clue or you hear about it. Just had no idea. And The Expanse did start before it was a book, if I have my knowledge correct, as a role playing campaign.
That is true. Yeah.
So it's sort of full circle. We're getting a video game RPG.
James S.A. Corey are they're two guys. They write under that fake name,
that's
but
right.
the whole world started as a campaign, and they loved it so much they kept.
There is now the role playing game for The Expanse too. If you're into that thing, they have a role playing game system for it. But
the Telltale game is pretty good too. I like that one. It was fun.
Yeah, I played the Telltale game. The only problem with the Telltale game is it's a Telltale game, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's really just about the dialogue choices in those games.
Yeah.
That's all there really is to it. The other stuff's kind of just there for the cinematicness of it all. But so I'm interested in seeing what a full-fledged video game is going to look like. Is it going to be good? There seems to be some proto-molecule business they hinted at the end. So like, shit.
Dude,
I just don't know when in the timeline it takes place. Is this before we have the gates or after? I don't know, but looks cool as hell. I just love the way they do space.
Oh yeah,
they do space like space sucks ass. Like it's so good.
It's really great. It's like proto.
Why
40K.
would anyone dream of writing science fiction and going to space? Space is an absolute shithole. There's nothing awesome about space. It sucks. We're only there because we're all racing to get the next big weapon, and that's it. It's so good.
You can wishlist this now on all the platforms: Steam, PS5, and Xbox.
I don't think I
get in there. Get in there before Osiris is reborn. You got to get in there.
Oh, it's already on my wish list. I did it already. Cool. But anyways, best thing I saw. So
there it is again. One more. What was the name again? Let's give him the name again. The Expanse, Osiris Reborn.
Osiris Reborn.
There you go.
Yeah.
For that one guy we're going to talk about later. All right, keep going.
Yeah. All right. So now the rest I'll go through quickly because I'm just listing stuff that I thought was good. Overall, I thought like everything looked good, but like these were the ones that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Eve Frontier.
I missed this one.
Game.
Was this on the PC event or where? Where was this?
I think it was a Future Game Show. Yeah, the PC game.
Okay.
And it's not a new announcement. We have known about this for a while, but it is an MMO survival game, and they're taking Founders Access right now. I couldn't pull the trigger. I got to wait to hear more about it because it is Eve, but it's not Eve Online. It's a standalone, but it's an online game. It's like almost like a second MMO, but it's like more of a survival MMO. I am still intrigued. The trailer was dope. But we haven't really seen any gameplay.
This is more what I want out of Eve, to be honest. And before you described, anyway, we'll see how it is. But
I remain optimistic that this is a version of Eve that I can enjoy. So hopefully that's the case.
Cool.
So there wasn't a next game on the list. There wasn't much of this game, but there wasn't much Devolver, I guess. But there was one game. Ball X Pit. Did you guys see this?
No, this is new to me today.
You're gonna add this to your list. Just watch the trailer. Audio listeners, I know it sucks. Go to Google Ball X Pit or YouTube Ball X Pit. This is a combination of Breakout. It's gonna say brick breaking, bullet hell game basically.
I do like Breakout.
And I like the term ball fusing. That's cool.
So basically, it's just like you're a dude. You shoot balls everywhere and break bricks. Also, it's a city builder because like their games are just like crazy keyword mashups. But the screen gets really crazy. This looks great. I'm sure it's going to be like $10 or $20 too. So it's not like I'm sure it won't be an expensive game.
Oh, this looks rad.
Dope as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going on my list now.
It's Arkanoid on crack, basically, and I'm all about it. So,
oh my gosh, I love everything about what they're showing here. All right, well, I've been converted.
They didn't have a lot of games, but the one game they had, I'm like, well, I'm buying that.
Ball X Pit.
Yeah, okay. Ball X Pit.
It's a weird name. All right.
Yeah, well, it's Devolver.
Yeah.
They never make anything weird.
No, they're not known for that at all. It's weird.
All right, next up on the list is something we kind of laughed at, but I watched it again and I'm low-key kind of interested in. It's the 7 Deadly Sins Origin.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It looks nicely animated.
It's very pretty.
But it's not maybe a style I'd normally be interested in, but also I think it's like a action-y RPG. I don't know why. I think the trailer looks hype and I'm admitting it.
Getting old school Zelda vibes out of it or something.
Don't be afraid to tell people you like something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like
you think it might not be a popular take.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just like super, anime cartoon, like crazy. There's just something about it that seemed like, the title's weird, but the animation looks cool.
It's based on an anime.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's a Netflix show.
Oh,
I don't know if
that.
it's Netflix, but you can watch it on Netflix.
So
It just
But
looks
what's
really pretty, and something about it's just like tweaking me,
is it a
like,
gotcha game type thing? It's Netmarble.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If it's a gotcha game, I won't be interested. But I think actually it's a standalone adventure game. So yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, that looked actually kind of cool.
I mean, it's a trailer. It looks cool. Looks well animated, and we'll see. But I thought it looked interesting, so it's
All right.
mention.
There's one for you.
If it's a gotcha game, well then
F right off.
yeah. All right, next one. I'll pay you $100 to F.
Yeah.
So the next game on the list is, I don't know if you saw Eric's Home.
Eric's
But
Home.
This looks amazing.
I don't know, Eric.
Oh,
Eric's
it's a
Home-
place.
Home-
Sorry.
It's a place. It's the name of a town.
Eric's
This looks
Home.
like a top-down stealth game with heavy like cinematic stuff, but it gave me like Disco Elysium vibes. But it's a stealth game. Like when you see this top-down view, that's like the view I think of the game as you're going around dispatching enemies from stealth.
kind of commando style looks like. Commandos,
yeah.
rather.
But the graphics, like the quality level looked good. The story level looked like high. I don't know. Looks like a high quality production or just a maximum effort kind of thing.
Do you know who this is? Who's
Yeah.
making this?
I forget.
Because it looks
But,
like it might be those dudes.
The Requiem Plague Tale guys or whatever.
Maybe them.
I really like the look of this. It's got a really good style to it.
Yeah,
They're doing
that-
something really good with the light and shadows and
Yeah,
all
and the
that.
up closes
I mean-
look really nice. It's scaling really well.
But that's what I mean with all the good up close. You'd expect, oh, this is a first
By
person
River
game.
End Games.
I don't know who that is. I'm getting a familiar vibe, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking of Commandos. That might be it.
But this is out in July, and it just looks really cool.
Looks like
I
this
don't
is
know.
their first game.
Oh, okay.
A small team from Sweden.
Oh,
But just go, check it out. Eric's Home. I think this game would look like. I think I'd play this. This looks pretty interesting. So
the name sounds so dumb if you don't see it spelled.
yeah,
Like you see it
it's
spelled, and you go, "Oh,
Eric's
okay."
Home.
Like home, and like there's an M, there's a K in there. It's like a place. But if I hear it, I just go, "Eric's home." Oh, is he? Well, what's he doing home? Like, why is he here?
Why is it, what's Eric?
right.
Eric, you're such a dick. Eric, get out of house. Get out of the house.
Eric's Home
Anyway.
looks really cool.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, not a new announcement, but they had a new trailer, and I'm giving this a pop for people who don't know about it. It's this game called Esoteric Ebb, which is like Fantasy Disco Elysium, where you play as a cleric, and you have to help like goblins and townsfolk with their problem. It's like way more cutesy, the art, but it's essentially Disco Elysium, where you have like text and
I like the look.
choices, like dialogue choices with various characters. There, you're talking to a cat, and you're talking to a goblin.
Oh,
you have a
jeez,
stat
it is
sheet.
very Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
It's very Disco Elysium,
Very
but,
Disco Elysium.
but I don't think it's like turbo depressing or anything like that. It's
No.
not participating in the Depression Olympics.
Yeah. Does it have VO the whole time? Oh yeah, look at this. Rolls and everything. Yeah, this is very
Yeah,
Disco
it
Elysium.
has roles, and I don't. The trailer was voiced by the character, but I'm not sure if it has full voiceover. I would assume no, because even Disco wasn't in the launch with that. They put that in later.
That's
so
true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it looks intriguing, and this is on my wish list, and I just want to share the word about the
Shit, he was fighting a giant seagull there. That was scary.
Yeah, like it looks comical and whimsical, but still that same gameplay style. So I think it's going to be good.
Love dice
And they were
rolls.
touting that, like, depending on what your stats are, the game can play out very differently. And if that's true, like in the Disco Elysium case, two people can have very different experiences of their playthroughs, and that's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah. All right. The last game on games that looked interesting is Ratatan. You have to turn the audio on for this one
All right.
because
Let's see what we got.
skip ahead a bit. Okay.
What the hell is this?
Hold on, I'm on board. I wasn't on board when it was just the art. Now I'm on board.
Now you're on
Right.
board with the music. Oh, this sounds. Oh, this is the Tapaton guy, the PSP game people. We knew about this. Remember Patapon?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like, this is new to me. If there's
Yeah.
a series of this, I'm fresh to it.
Hold on, Patapon. I don't know if it's the same people or not. I want to make sure I'm not making this up. but I'm definitely getting the vibe that this is them. Let's see, Japan Studio. Is that who this is?
I mean, at the very least, even if it's not the exact same people, it's a clear homage too.
Yeah, even the name, Ratatan or Ratatan.
Yeah. This is somebody that went, why aren't there more games like this? We'll make it.
This looks pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I liked it was this seemed like, what if I were trolling people and made the most annoying shit ever for a game trailer?
Yeah.
And I really respected it. I don't know if this game's going to be fun or not, but the whole trailer's... And I'm like... It's almost like a last longer. Like, I'm like, how long can you play this before you want to throw your video console out the window because you're so sick of hearing the song?
So I'm gonna go. Someone need to go capture that for me and send me the audio so I can get Bo doing that. I can't do it in real time.
I don't know. I thought it was beautiful, and they color me intrigued. If it's part of a series, well, I didn't know.
There's a demo for it available on Steam right now. You can find out. You can play it right now. You can find out if this is your jam.
Man, they got so many
at
demos.
this moment.
Yeah. Games.
I did wishlist it, but I didn't realize there was a demo. Maybe I'll try it.
All right, give it a shot.
So let's go through the rest real quick because they all deserve mentions because they were awesome. All right, VR shit.
Yeah.
Thief VR looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's the iconic Thief series in VR form, and Deadpool VR, which we've already talked about a little bit. I think they're going to let you do messed up stuff in VR, so I'm in.
Yeah.
It's just you can put a guy's head into a airplane propeller and go and shave their head. I was like, that's cool. I think it's gonna be messed up. I think you're gonna do messed up things, and I'm down. Next up, other mentions for games that look cool. Mina the Hollower from the Shovel Knight guys.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
I thought about putting this on my list too.
Yeah, I think this looks cool.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot. They make cool games,
and especially for you handheld people, like seems like handheld heaven.
Oh yeah. Plus, their adherence to the 8-bit aesthetic is they're so serious about it, and I love that about it. Like they're not messing around. I think it looks great. Pretty excited.
Looks super rad.
Yep.
Next up is Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. It's an action RPG that's also anime style. But I watched it again and I said, you know what? This low-key could be good. You kind of sometimes count the anime-ness against it. Like it's going to be a slightly worse game because they spent all their points and waifu-ness of it all instead of in the mechanics.
Yeah.
So you tend to be on guard when you see a game like this. Like it's probably a medium version of the genre it's doing because they just want to do awesome art, which is not a bad thing. But as a mechanics enjoyer, you're like, oof.
Yeah.
But still, this is pretty cool. It looked like it looks like a full-on ARPG, probably good with a controller style ARPG. And it looked fun. It looked dope. Deserves credit on the wish list. So,
and there's a mining or there's a mini game where you're making foraging stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought this was cool, interesting.
Yeah.
Next up is the single developer game Axe of Blood, which we all saw, and that was awesome.
Looked like what's the Raid or whatever? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like Raid Redemption or had Old Boy. Like the combat looks pretty visceral and pretty detailed, like Sifu style, but not low poly. I guess it's bloody and crunchy, and
it seems cool. I still can't believe this is one dev doing this. Crazy.
It's also like stylistic while still being like kind of like Unreal Engine MetaHuman style. It's like. There's something strange about the animation that's not bad, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Like it's like this weird hybrid of cartoon and photorealism.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think this just should be a way to prod you into getting Lake Run 1.0 out. Since this guy's
you want me to make
this.
a Lake Run game that looks like this?
No, I'm saying like this guy, this one developer, Luke Mann C or whatever his name is. He's making one game. And he's doing it in a weekend. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about that, but
no, this couldn't have been a weekend. This doesn't look like a weekend. This looks like a long time.
It's really cool though. That game looks great.
But yeah, it looks good. Just how does one developer get all that mocap? You know what I mean? Like, what did he do to do the mocap?
Maybe he didn't, because maybe it's
a martial arts game.
I think the videos gave credit to somebody.
Oh, so did it?
Somebody helped
like the martial arts stuff's got to look credible, especially if you're going for photorealism. It's not even like you can draw exaggerated stances. I'm assuming there's mocap involved.
Usually with this sort of thing, yeah. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. But
Maybe he does martial arts too, so he was able to mocap himself.
he's just in a mirror, a little helmet on, and a little skin suit. I like that idea. All right, well, there's those games. Nice.
Those are like the things that stood out to me. Now, if we didn't talk about your game, sorry. I think overall, there's lots of quality products, but like no one's going to talk about Call of Duty 7 here.
No, we don't care about that. But we like that the indies are getting such a good showcase these days, and I'm a big fan of that whole thing. And there was some cool AAA stuff, and no one likes $80 games. There's a lot to love and hate, and I think it's an embarrassment.
But I'd say overall, like if you're into gaming and you're looking to new releases, like there are obviously jank and bad games. I think Mind's Eye is going to be one of them. I'm not sure, but like they are a small percent.
It's already out. It's getting reviewed poorly.
Have we got any big mainline reviews for that yet?
Yes, they're bad.
What my point is just they are like a shockingly small percentage. I think like maybe 10% of the games are not great. Or just.
Yeah,
maybe they're great, but they're not going to find an audience at all or fail. But
sure,
I
think we're doing better than we usually.
I think there's like even if you don't play a game, there's still a lot of like really cool shit that was shown. At least maybe this time, maybe not every time, but this time felt like I said there was so much stuff I couldn't remember any of it after it was done. I just felt overwhelmed. So
I want Mind's Eye if it's good, because I'm in the mood for that sort of thing, but it sounds like it's not.
I think it's Turbo. Like, didn't all the people
Scott,
who run
I got
the company
great news
quit?
for you. You're not going to have to spend any money today.
The trailer did a great job of selling me on it, but all this bad reviews, people leaving.
Well, a little, because we're about to take our break. When we come back, we are going to be giving out just 4 awards. And Mind's Eye was almost my looks bad, because that's one of the categories. Mm-hmm. And as I typed it, I was like, isn't that coming out really soon? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's out. Oh, it's getting bad reviews. Well, I'm not going to look like any sort of prophet if I'm like, Mind's Eye looks like shit. And it's already out there getting reviews. I could see through the facade of Mind's Eye with my mind's eye.
Yeah.
I knew that game wasn't going to work. And yeah, it sounds like maybe that's the case.
I had bad feelings about it, but I just had hopes, and now those hopes are dashed on the rocks of life.
Well, they said, I guess the developers said that if anybody thinks the game is bad, it's because big GTA paid them off to say it.
Oh, great. That's always a good sign.
What?
Always a good sign. That's great. I
Where's
think
my
so.
check, Rockstar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, Rockstar. I will
Everyone
collect
else
my
got a
money
check and
after
not
the
me.
show.
Are they really claiming that? They're making that claim, sort of ish?
I heard that. I don't know if I'm repeating a myth, but
Okay.
Did your son tell you that?
yeah, he was like, Dad. Yeah, he's 4. He's like, Dad, Rockstar's paying people to trash this game. I don't know. It's what I heard. I didn't read an actual quote from the developer, so if they didn't actually say that, I'm sorry for perpetrating a myth. But
Chat room seems to be confirming that.
I did hear that that's what they said.
Good Lord. All right.
The development of Mind's Eye was reported as having a bunch of issues. One of Dev Insider stuff said something like, "We just need to push out what we have." That's gonna go well. It's not finished, but whatever. Just sell it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
that's like saying I need to take it down.
Gamers don't notice these kinds of things. They're not notorious for picking things apart 5 ways to Sunday.
I only have to take half a dump. That's what they're saying. I don't like that at all. All right, well, I guess we'll find out how it goes for them in the long run. In the meantime, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have a couple more awards to give away or talk about. We're not giving anything away. And then after that, we'll talk about the games we actually played this week, a few other things like that. So please stay tuned. We're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Usually you're like, hey, time for Dear Martha. That's exciting. No, not today. We got more awards. Okay. Well, we have awards. We haven't done those yet. We just talked about things we're excited about.
Awards, but we're going to do some awards.
So here comes the awards. Do I have a sounder for that? I bet I do. Hold on a second. I'll do one of these. Let's try this one right here.
You with me?
No.
Let's play Pac-Man.
There you go. Let's play Pac-Man.
Let's play Pac-Man.
We're gonna go ahead and do this now. We'll start with our most disappointing things of the big reveals last week.
Yeah, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be games. It can be of the shows themselves. Because I think at least two of these things can kind of be less about the game, more about the shows.
Right.
But just in watching this madness unfold over the past week, what was our biggest disappointments?
Well,
as we were watching?
I have two. One is the other one is just kind of a lame call out, but I'll say Death Stranding 2's trailer during the Games Fest was dumb and boring and didn't tell us anything and showed us nothing. And I was really looking forward to more on Death Stranding 2 because I think I really want to actually play 2. And that gave me nothing. It's more Office stuff. It was just dumb.
Office stuff.
It was just dumb. I just don't know what to say the point of that one.
The season of the Office, man.
At least your Requiem thing, your RE9, went somewhere after the Office. You know what I mean? Got like it got interesting.
It started with the Office, and then it was like, oh, by the way, boom, Raccoon City, boom, lady in a thing.
So this is not poo on the face of the game. The game may be amazing, and I'm excited, but I'm not. That did nothing for me in the hype zone to that. And then just behind that, and maybe tied with that, is that edgelord douchebag in the hat that came out to try to sell me on his multiplayer Portal.
So I'm kind of with you on that, but I have a bone to pick.
Go.
Because everybody is so focused on the hat.
Oh, I was more focused on what he said.
I know, but I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about the internet in general. Now, granted, this guy's getting dogged on, and I think he absolutely deserves to be dogged on. But so many people boil it down to a hat thing, which I don't love because I think it leans into just the like...
the worst of our current culture.
The bipartisan politics. It's like, we don't like the hat because it reminds me of this. I like the hat because it reminds me of this. The thing that was the worst about it was he came out and there were some things that it's like, yeah, I played Halo 2. It's like, great. So did a lot of us. This is great. I'm edgy. I F Call of Duty and all this stuff. And then they played Imagine Dragons. and then you take the sentiment of like this edgy, like we're an adult shooter for people that care about video games and miss the good old days. Here's Imagine Dragons followed by, hey, by the way, that is the most modern game. It had, I will say, an $80 cosmetics bundle that you could purchase for Splitgate up. Yeah. Now, he claims, because I followed this, because I was like, you're going to go up there and say, we need to make shooters great again, and you're like leaning into the worst practices of modern day shooters with a bunch of bullshit cosmetics that are way too expensive. So he did get called out on that, and he said, I had no idea we were selling that.
Oh, come on.
And then they lowered the prices on everything. They're still there. And you know what? Get paid. But it was... I don't think you can take that hardline approach and then lean into all the things that Call of Duty does, but then be like, yeah, but we're doing it cheaper.
Yeah. They were just asking for trouble by not being the thing he was claiming to be.
Also Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. All of it.
By the way, I kind of like Imagine Dragons. I don't hate them.
Yeah, but you're not
certainly that's a dad take, not a edgy... I'm playing Halo 2 all weekend with the boys take.
That's exactly right. One of these reviews on Steam says, bro wears a make FPS games great again hat and makes the most expensive store I've ever seen and released an unfinished battle royale game and gave it a thumbs down. Like they were just asking for this to get review bombed, to have all these problems. You could have gone out there and just been excited about your game and earned a bunch of goodwill and showed a good trailer. And this is done. We're done. And we're all playing your game. Because by all accounts, the actual gameplay is pretty good. People enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, it didn't do any favors for the game. I'd be annoyed if I worked on that game, and that's what they did. And especially if he didn't know what the cost of things... If you're going to go out there and make a bold statement on, like, we're taking over, you should know what your store is representing before you go out and make that
And you're carrying
claim.
that bat, and you're trying to just look dude, bro. And the stuff you're shitting on Call of Duty... Which, like Call of Duty or not.
Which, hey, I'm about to do. So I'm not opposed to it. But, you know, like, maybe just be a little more self-aware when you're going to take such a crazy stance like that.
Yeah. This review's pretty good. Splitgate 2 CEO comes on stage, says he grew up playing Halo, wishes he could have made Titanfall 3, reveals Apex Legends 2, has Imagine Dragons as background music. Yep, abysmal. So he's just getting dragged in here, just dragged. So
it was a little bit silly. Honestly, I thought it was too funny to put it as my most disappointing, because I kind of ultimately found the whole situation funny, but if I was on the dev team, I probably wouldn't find it particularly funny.
Yeah, it annoyed me. I would have been mad if I were them back home. All right, that's my two. John, what did you pick for your most disappointing?
I picked, we ended on Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
Yeah.
And then I put in parentheses, also we're on 7. I never fact-checked this. They didn't skip a bunch. Are we really on Black Ops 7?
We are actually on Black Ops 7. That is correct.
They're not doing
crazy.
Some we said it in the future. So, Jesus, we are on Black Ops 7.
Yep.
How did that happen? I feel like we were on Black Ops 3 a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a super lame way to end the show. Everybody always looks for the and one more thing to be a real cool thing. And look, Call of Duty is undeniably a big game for a lot of people. I don't know for the kinds of people in the audience who watches that show that's going to be the thing to get people excited. I think it's something that will collectively get a lot of people excited, but for your showcase, I think that this was a little this was a real bummer way to end the show. It was oh geez, we're ending on this.
But they got Milo Ventimiglia to play the main character. That's exciting to have Milo Ventimiglia.
Is that the guy from Heroes?
Yes.
Okay, because that's all I know it from, and I hated Heroes, so I'm oh great. The guy from that show I hated is in this game.
I mean, the one thing I do like is the era of the tech is my favorite Call of Duty was the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare game. I loved that one. I know I'm alone in this, all right? I know a lot of people were poo-poo on the future tech, but I loved that. That was fun. That was a video game. This, to me, is interesting from that point of view, but it's not it shouldn't be the way you end your show.
Yeah. Again, I'm not necessarily hating on the game. I know Call of Duty isn't for me anymore, probably.
Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. I mean, I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that was the order of it, right? Mm-hmm. The first one. I know they've remade it now.
Yeah.
The first time they did it, that was one of my favorite video games of all time. What an amazing experience. What an amazing game. And I used to, I dabble in Fortnite. We'll talk about that. My go-to multiplayer game used to be Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So it's not unheard of for me to play Call of Duty, but I've certainly lost interest and lapsed as a person who plays it.
Yeah.
Original run of Modern Warfare is kind of when I played those games. And yeah, this, I'm not trying to speak to its quality, but I thought it was a bad way to end the Microsoft show. Not that they had anything that would have been a better reveal, but
yeah, it's a big. I mean, they have to capitalize on the fact that they are now the Call of Duty people. They have to. Yeah, that's an investment they made, and they gotta play into it. But yeah, if you like Milo Ventimiglia, I don't know how you say his name. He's in there. John, awesome. Bo, not available. You didn't find anything disappointing?
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me.
Look at you.
Were you disappointed that there was so much stuff you forgot everything?
I mean, yeah, that was the more broader takeaway.
There you go. I got one.
There wasn't anything that was oh my god, I'm so disappointed. Sometimes you see something you don't like it, you're like, whatever.
Look at you with the positive vibes. I like this. This is nice.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing that really obviously there's more games here that I won't play than I will play, but that's true of everybody.
Well, this is good because our next category is what looks bad, and both John and I agree that Last Flag looks bad, and
actually, hold on, roll it back. I want to intro this topic because I want to talk about it a little bit.
Go.
Because when I say looks bad, there's a lot of games on here that looked bad for me. They didn't look like bad video games, but they looked like games that would be very easy for me to go, no, I'm not going to ever play that. There's a lot of games on here that might end up not being very good. And so when I put looks bad on as a category, I was like, oh, this will be easy. But I didn't want to just put something that might be a totally fine game, but just falls under the category of not for me. I wanted to find a game that looks like something I might play, might consider, and I just don't think it looks very good. So I approached it from that standpoint, because there's plenty of games we saw that I'm like, that's just not a John game, but it might be fine for some people. So I picked. You already said it. I picked Last Flag. You also picked Last Flag. Poor Last Flag, catching a lot of strays today, because I do miss Capture the Flag games.
I love it. It's my favorite mode.
The idea of Capture the Flag, becoming a thing, getting away from every game being a battle royale or a hero brawler or an extraction shooter, going back to our roots with Capture the Flag, is something that in theory I'm 100% for. And so I hope, for the best.
Yeah.
But this does not look like the thing that's going to save a mode that I used to really like.
Yeah.
And that's why it's on my list. Not because I think it's the worst thing I saw all week. It's not. But in terms of games that I think I would actually play or actually vibe with, I think this game is the one that I have the lowest amount of faith in.
I just cannot watch that sniper girl jump and split her legs every time she shoots. I can't do it. It's not about her legs or that she's a girl, so don't be writing me emails, everybody. I just mean, okay, we get it. It's cartoony and goofy, but I need some variation. It's a tiny thing. But the whole thing to me is, if you're going to make a game all about Capture the Flag, I'm going to need to play this. I may eat crow on this one, and if I do, I'll eat it. I'll eat it on air. I'll make a huge deal about how happy I am that I'll eat crow right in front of all of you. But right now, that thing does not look like anything I want to play. So we'll see. And I love Capture the Flag. I don't know if I've said that enough. Greatest mode in all of shooter history.
Looks like I think the only thing working against it is I'm not sure the aesthetic's going to catch on, but I would say that about Team Fortress, and that's obviously a legendary game. So
yeah, and this is definitely riffing on that. You can feel it, more than even Overwatch.
There's even comments on the trailer. For a second, I thought Valve was counting to 3.
Oh, I should have put that on most disappointing. That all of us, no matter whether people admit it or not, whether we admit it or not, everybody's hanging on edge for that last thing. We didn't expect it to be what it was, and what it was good. John was excited about Resident Evil 9, and I like how they teased it and then showed it. That was all good, but everybody every year waits for the Half-Life 3 thing, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. We should probably stop doing that.
I hope that if they ever do make a Half-Life 3, I hope it's not mixed into a show. I want to have what I had with Half-Life 2, which is I wake up one day and there's just a trailer online for a game that completely changes the way I think about video games in the world.
That's what I'd like to.
Oh my God, I want to die. Oh, I went to sneeze and I muted, but the sneeze didn't come out right away.
I saw you. I was wondering what was going on.
And I snapped my neck.
Oh no!
I just it didn't come out the first time, and then my neck just went.
Are you okay? Are you all right?
Yeah, there's no pain, but it felt so uncomfortable, and
I'm sorry,
it was
man.
bad. So, anyways, sorry to interrupt.
No, that sucks. I feel bad.
It was like epic fail of a sneeze.
Also,
man, remember we used to say epic fail?
Oh yeah, it's a party every time that happens. I don't feel like I haven't said epic fail in a while, but that was really common for a long time, right?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a time when we were all just straight up epic?
We
fail?
say when things are awesome, they're like, "This is epic."
Yeah. For some reason, my camera is really delayed. Why? You guys notice that?
Running out of.
I don't know. Put yourself full screen and say stuff, and I'll tell you if it seems.
All right, here comes full screen. Here's Scott, full screen, saying words.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Look at that.
Yeah, something's funky. I'm gonna quit.
Desync.
Maybe I'll quit my camera.
Maybe it's Bo's cable.
Maybe it is Bo's cable.
I'm not touching the cable. It's in a good spot right now.
Bo, shake the cable, see if it fixes
stuff. And if Arthur comes by and starts playing with so he's got this new thing where he'll sit on the cables.
Yeah.
And he'll rub his face on my microphone stand because he knows I talk into it, so I think he thinks he's getting my attention.
Yeah.
But really, I'm just he's got claws. I don't touch the cable. Stop lying on the cables.
Yeah, it's cats though.
He's
Cats
starting
are
to play
dicks.
with the cables, and I'm like,
Cats are huge dicks. That's what you get with cats. All right, moving on down the road here to what's next, which is, and Bo didn't have a thing he thought looked bad.
Yeah, I'm just ever since whatever that name of that game was, I don't even remember the name of it anymore. Triple Triad? No.
Triple. What was it called?
Not Marathon, but the other one.
Oh, Marathon. You notice how we heard nothing about Marathon this?
Cyclone.
Like nothing.
What was the name of the game?
Zero Marathon
Are you
talk.
talking about Concord?
That's the one. There you go. I couldn't remember. Ever since Concord, I'm like, I don't want to poo-poo things too hard. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get
Unless
it.
it's the Dungeons and Dragons movie or
Even that, maybe I should
people
watch.
or
Yeah,
things.
Okay, maybe it's just that there was nothing that jumped out at me this time, and I'm gonna eat crow with Scott on the next game show when I'm like, Konami released this shit. What the hell is going wrong with this company?
Well, you never know. All right, moving on.
But anyways, yeah, no, it's wasn't anything that really triggered any vitriol on my part. I think this time.
Our next category is biggest surprise. I'm going to give it to Keeper because I didn't know that they were working on anything, and now that I know they're working on some, I mean, of course they were working on something, but nobody had talked about it. I love Double Fine, and I love what I saw there. So for me, Keeper is a genuine surprise, and I'm excited about that.
And who could have predicted it's a tower offense game?
Yeah, right. Which is not a problem for me. It turns out I like a little tower offense. It's the tower defense I don't like.
Yep. The tower's doing stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, that tower's walking across the country and taking a bird with it. It's pretty badass. John, yours is a familiar one.
Mine's Marvel Fighting Souls. I had another big surprise that was captured on stream, but I'll save that for something else. This one's crazy just because I don't think many people thought Arc System Works would be working on a Marvel game.
Yeah.
They had done that Dragon Ball game. I think a lot of people, including me, were thinking they would make a sequel to that because it did so well. And then on top of that, there is a company that usually does Capcom and Marvel-related fighters. If I said the name because I said it backwards, Capcom. They're the ones who do your Marvel fighting games. So the idea that Arc System Works is doing something else, like, this isn't a Capcom game. That's shocking.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Do you think that means they lost the license or it just ran out?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to know the story. I want the dirty version of this story. Like, we got the nice, clean version of, like, they approached us and we were like, oh, we love Arc System Works. And they're like, we love Marvel. What's this?
It sounded
And
like the
it
teat
was,
sucking.
it was so nice.
Yeah.
I want the dirty version that's like, Capcom was like, can we make a game? And we were like, give us money. And they were like, no. And then we went, screw you. We're going to have Arc System Works make it. And they went, you wouldn't dare.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as having Tekken do it.
Yeah, it's unheard of. And
Namco.
at chat, Derek in the chat just says they just re-released a Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Yeah.
They did two.
Yeah.
They released two of them. They just came out.
And they got a lot of shit for the one that looked ugly. So maybe this is part of that. I don't know. Hard to say.
I don't know. And that game, the one that you said looked ugly, got a crazy fan-supported mod that was so beloved that game bumped into the Steam charts again.
Yep.
Like, there was clearly love and passion there, and it's shocking that this happened. So that's a huge surprise for a lot of reasons.
Wild stuff. All right, I like your pick. I think it's a good one. John, Bo, what's your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise was the Expanse game. Came out of nowhere.
Osiris Reborn.
I didn't expect to be. I didn't expect to be so excited about something. I don't know. Usually these shows, I'm very, and that's speaking my language. So great.
Yeah, which is usually.
It's like, there's this and there's that, and it's like, okay, I won't play that. But this absolutely, I was not expecting to like something this much, and there you go.
There you go.
I was wrong.
For me, it is. I already did mine. Hey, game of show.
It's the same one.
We're just going to loop around and do these for the rest of the night. Game of show. I'm going to give it to Clockwork Revolution. Bo joins in the chorus here. We both agree with this.
With that. Yeah.
And this is, it does depend on some things, right? We need to see it. We need to play it. There's a lot of questions, but it just grabbed me in a way that others didn't this time around. And it sounds like it did you as well.
Best thing shown and most improved thing shown for something that wasn't the first time seeing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, to the point that I had forgotten we'd ever seen anything. I'm glad you remembered because I could not remember ever seeing anything about this. This was a massive jump.
I felt sad. The reason I remembered it because I remember feeling like this looks cool, but I feel like it's going to, like John said, feel like it's going to be bad. Like watching old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know about this, but this really turned me around anyway. So
Yeah.
It hasn't turned John around yet, but...
I'm turned around. It was in the games I'm interested by.
Okay,
it's the
sorry,
only
but you
game that
just
all three of us were interested
Sorry, you
in.
just prefaced it a lot with, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be...
I don't know. I
And
don't know,
it's good
but
that
I
you're
want
honest.
it to
It's
be
not,
good.
I'm not criticizing you for that. I don't know. I'm just making jokes, man.
Yeah.
We're all friends.
It looks like it could be great.
I think
It
John
looks
is in
like
a
it
good
could be.
position because if it ends up sucking,
I get to
then-
tell you all I told you.
He'll be like,
Yeah.
I told you it was going to look like shit.
yeah.
I told you. I told you.
Yeah, you
And
hedged
if
your
it's
bets.
great, then we all get to enjoy a wonderful game together.
There you have it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Good strategy.
John, I think we don't even have to guess at this.
We
but
don't
let's-
need to guess. It's Resident Evil 9. Who's surprised by this?
It was a good
Nobody.
showing. It was a good showing, and I appreciated their pump fake. They did a really good troll.
I
Yeah.
agree. Not only was it a good troll, but it also... I was okay. Like, I know John was frustrated because he wanted to hear more about his next favorite game series. But when they did the troll, I went, oh, okay, what's good? They poked their heads out of the hole. They're all working hard, and they're letting us know something's happening, but we're not ready to tell you. And I can totally respect that. And then when they flip it on its end at the end and tell me anyway, I mean, how can you complain? That was amazing. I love
Yeah,
that they did
it
it
was
that way.
good.
Well done.
And it's coming out kind of soon. Mm-hmm. It's coming out February.
Yeah, that's not that far off. You know?
Yeah.
We were just talking about how, I mean, anybody releasing a game in 2026 now feels dangerous with GTA 6 on the horizon. Like,
Yeah, RE shouldn't worry. It's a big fridge.
they'll be
It's too
okay,
low.
yeah. I think that's one that can get away with it. It's also just so different and so unique to what it is. I don't think GTA is going to run that over. Besides, that's many
And
months
February is
before.
probably not when GTA is coming out, if I had to guess.
No,
No,
it's
we
coming out
know
May.
when GTA is coming out, right?
Yeah, May 26th next year.
May.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they got a nice little breathing window there. Well, congratulations to everybody for these big awards that you didn't ask for.
They're in the mail.
They're in the mail. Well, I hope you benefited greatly from us doing them.
It's my bathwater.
Let's talk about the games we played this week, because why not? All right, so you guys know I've got the Switch, the German Switch here.
I'm sorry,
Oh, I love it.
Switch?
Switch 2? Dos?
Switch?
Wait, that's a
Switch
different
2?
language.
Wait, you guys have a shared play that has nothing to do with the Switch, so...
Oh, I forgot. Let's talk
asking-
about it. No, good point. Good point.
'Cause-
You're right. I skipped past it. Dune.
Point of order.
Yeah. Dune Awakening happened officially.
Yeah.
Bo got it early. I got it on official launch day, which is the 10th, and we've both been playing it. Obviously, because I haven't had as much time as you. I'm guessing you played more than me because it just came out yesterday for me. Or the
Put
day
in
before.
2 fairly long sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is out now. It is the Dune game we've been talking about, and it's all about that Dune. You want to get your Dune on? There's some Dune in this.
So there's a lot of people in our community playing this right now. There was a lot
Yeah.
of Dune fans.
A lot of people playing this in general. I was kind
Yeah.
of shocked at how this has captured the attentions of so many people. But
I think it intersects 2 big popular genres: survival games. A lot of people are playing survival games, and this is a survival MMO.
Yeah.
And people like the Dune. People like the Dune.
The Dune is
pretty cool.
eternal. Yep.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think on the multiplayer standpoint, because it's an MMO, you don't have to like rent a server or do that kind of stuff to get. It's easy. I see couples playing, for example.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, because the MMO-ness of it all, you're able to just join your friends and play pretty easy.
Yeah, you just get in and go. I noticed my friends list is packed in there with people who are playing it, and that's a little unusual. You don't usually see that. It's doing the video we're looking at right now is something I think is interesting about the game. It lets you unlock all of the tech trees immediately when you start, or have them unlocked slowly over time, like tutorial
there's
style.
like an MSQ that unlocks them over the MSQ.
Oh,
which
I see.
I recommend for these survival games. Personally, I feel overwhelmed when I have too many recipes and don't know what they do.
Yeah.
And I like when the game gives you a chance to use the items. So that's the method I'm doing, is the gradual unlock.
Yep.
As I learn the game.
I agree.
But if you're a seasoned player, you might just want to just have access to everything.
Yeah, making more characters, that kind of thing. But you start the game, you go talk to the Reverend Mother. It turns out, I don't know, this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the trailer and it's part of the cinematic of the game, but I just wanted to mention this. The story is for Dune lovers out there. If you've read the book, you understand where things go. If you've seen the movies, you understand basically where these things go. But in this game, you are part of Paul Atreides, one of Paul Atreides' prescient dreams that he has. In the books, he has them all the time about what could be the future if he doesn't intervene. What fate is going to be unless he changes that fate. Sometimes he is part of the fate. Sometimes he alters the fate. And this is one of those dreams. This entire game scenario is set around this idea that in this version of the timeline, things go very different. A plot to assassinate kings and queens, and I won't get too much details. I want people to enjoy it. But those things are thwarted that do not happen in the main story, and instead it goes a different way. And the bottom line is they end up wiping out the entire Fremen population on the planet for reasons. I won't get into them. And as a result, now there's a bunch of circumstances that coincide with you essentially crash landing on the planet. And now you got to figure out a way to survive there along with everybody else. And it's weird to play a video game that the entire setting, the entire premise is in the dream of Paul Atreides. You're not, and you're not like dipping in and out of this dream either. You're just in it as if it was reality. It's weird, but it kind of works. Like it's a strange story.
I didn't pick up that detail. Okay, that helps contextualialize something.
Yeah,
actually,
it's sort of
like, what part of the timeline is this?
Yeah, it sort of says it in the cinematic, but it does it in a pretty subtle way. And it doesn't matter if you're there for the gameplay so much. Because
the opening cinematic skipped for me because it just loaded straight into a menu, so I still have yet to watch.
Oh, you should watch that because it'll clear all that up. It'll make sense.
Okay, then that's helpful. I should watch it. Okay. Thank you. It's helpful
Anyway.
actually, because one of the things that's like, I'm like, what part of the timeline is it? Because there's good and bad. I have critiques.
Mm-hmm.
I have lots of compliments.
Oh, I have some serious beef about one aspect, but yeah, go ahead.
But one of the things that didn't make sense to me, I'm like, this is a desert, and there should be large swaths of desert. But this game is more like Borderlands in that, like, there's like space junk and people all over the place, and I'm like, what kind of a desert planet is this? This is like Coruscant up in here, kind of, but not really. But it's just you'll be at a camp. And then there'll be like 5-player bases around the camp, and it doesn't feel very remote or anything.
Those player bases, so that's one of the problems. It's kind of a park your brain at the door thing, and it's a survival game problem. So you know how in Rust, any other survival game really where it's public, and if you're playing a game of Rust, for example, it's a fairly public server, people's little half-built huts are everywhere. Their starting huts are just ramshackle all over the place. I suppose this could be true if you're on the right planet in No Man's Sky or something, but you just find other people's shit laying around. If this was a single-player game, you would be the only person trying to scavenge and find things to build your hut.
Or if you can rent your own server, so if it's you and like 20 other players, the place probably wouldn't be spammed with buildings.
Correct, you know what I mean? Which brings me to a funny thing that happened to me. I get in there, and your goal very early is to make some very basic crafted materials like Band-Aids because you're bleeding or dying, figuring out how to get water extracted, basic suit or basic protective clothing that'll help the sun not be so harsh and that kind of stuff. And I immediately come upon, I thought it was just part of the story. There's like a building. It looks like a kind of a squat little building, and it had a few storage containers and some machines in there, but there was no door. It was like kind of like half broken off, and it looked like, I don't know, just looked like a place I was supposed to go as part of this progress. And I go in there and I check these storage containers. It's like tons of money in there, like 4 pairs of pants. And I went, oh, cool. I don't even have to make these. I'll just take them out of here. And then as I walked out, I went, oh shit, I think this is someone's house, like another player. But you're supposed to build your thing and lock it. So whoever this was is either a dipshit or he abandoned it.
No, I even have an answer because I probably played farther than you. I have an answer.
Okay.
So the way the desert's structured, there's a new, in MMOs, there's a noob island.
Yeah.
There's a noob island in that, like, the first part of desert you're in is basically noob island, right?
Yeah.
Because you're eventually going to build something and get across open desert with the sandworms and stuff. It's
Right.
cool.
Right.
It's cool. I don't want to spoil things, so I'm trying to be a little vague. But
most of the noob
as part
houses
of
are locked.
as part of the MSQ,
Yeah.
there is a quest step because you're in a new zone and you got to build a new base,
Yeah.
and they also want to show you how to abandon bases. So there's a required step where you abandon your base in Noob Island so that you can build your base in the next zone that you're in.
Okay.
Which, because I found an abandoned place, and then I'm doing the quest, and I'm like, I can't continue the quest until I fulfill the quest objective, which is abandon my base over a Noob Island, which means it's still got batteries in it. It's not going to despawn. It's just I'm not going to own it anymore.
Yeah, but all the ones out there
You
had
might have
doors.
found my base.
Well,
you know what I mean?
True, but they all had locks on them except for this one. And so I couldn't figure that out. Do you have to abandon it and then cut out a wall to get past that in the story?
No, you abandon it remotely. You go on the map and just click abandon, and whatever. I don't even know what happens.
So anything in there might be open to whoever wants it.
Yeah, because I found an abandoned base too, and you're like, man, what idiot didn't lock it? And then I realized, everybody in the game is going through the MSQ, and it's a required step to abandon your base in Noob Island, which means other players in Noob Island are going to come across abandoned bases. And it's like V Rising. You know how if you don't put Castle Blood in the Heart, it rots away over time?
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. Like, it doesn't immediately despawn. It rots away over time. So
Well, it helped me skip a bunch of steps because all the shit was made that I needed to make, so I took it.
Same. Yeah.
It got me through there.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where you're like, well, I just want to experience the game. I don't want the leg up. Like, I'm playing a survival game for a reason. I want to do the survival stuff.
Right.
I don't want freebies. So it kind of feels bad a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like my experience was, I think I'm on a populous server. There's just like 80 bases. Like, there's just so many bases. Like, where I have my base now, some guy started setting up a base 2 feet away from me. And then there's a giant like mega complex apartment around the corner. And like every quest location I go to, I got to walk around somebody's turd of a base that's in the way. Like, it's actually kind of aggravating because the game's really good. Like, I think we're going to poo-poo on a lot of this stuff, but like, I really think I don't want to play on a giant public server like this because it's ruining the atmosphere entirely.
A little bit. I wish it was more isolated. I absolutely do. I agree with you there. That's the thing I ran into too. And it's just this. It's not that. I mean, I get it. We're in Noob Island, right? We're going to get out of here. We're going to do other stuff. But
like the story cinematics are cool. They're like, oh, it's the desert and it's like so scary. And you have this terrorist guy who's like guiding you around. You're like, okay. Every time you call him up, he's like, see that building? I blew it up.
Yeah, he's cool.
Which is awesome. Yeah. But it's like, but then you're dropped back in. It's like immersion breaking where you're like, oh man, the desert is a badass story. It's so cool. And then you get back out and no one's building a cool base. It's like a little brick like Lego building. Like it really looks dissonant where like the level looks awesome. Like the level design is like super cool and badass. And then you got these Lego houses that are just like these squares.
Yeah.
And like 1 or 2 is fine, but they're everywhere. And yeah, I really don't like that.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that. My second beef before I get to the good stuff is I don't think the combat initially, it'll improve over time, and I think ranged is a bit better. But like melee combat is jank. It is not good.
Yeah, I agree. You are all melee over combat the place. So far is like, oh, I have to fight them because they've got a Holtzman shield.
Yeah,
which is cool. So they run at me, they swing, and if you parry, another parry game,
John. Get ready.
Parry, you hold down the mouse button and slow blade them, and they die. Maybe it takes more than one hit sometimes. That's it. That's all melee is.
Right, and it's sloppy otherwise. If you're just doing quick hacks on people who don't have the shield, you're just glitching all over. It's not good combat. It's bad. Yeah. Now that may improve, like I said.
What class are you, by the way?
You do it during the hand in the box stuff, and I kind of forgot what I chose.
So you can learn all the classes. You can eventually, I think, be all 6 classes and just pick whatever abilities to load out.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like your start. I'm a soldier. So I actually have like a come over here hook, and a gravity grenade that makes people float.
Oh, that's what I did. I did that.
All right, so you're a soldier as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got rid of the gravity grenade because it didn't work the best. And I have a floating column where I can fly up in the air. It's fun.
Yeah.
But no, the guns have been by far better. But the enemy AI is good. Like, you know how guys charge you with their sword?
Yeah.
So there was one enemy AI that was like crouched behind something, and I got around and saw them crouching. So she turtle ran, crouched at me while I was shooting her with the gun. And I'm like, you stand up and run. Like, it just looks so weird. Like, she's still hiding, but like I was like pummeling her. And
some of them don't see you. You're right next to them, and they just stand there.
I've had ones like look the other way. They look at me. They go, "I see you there," and they turn around 90 degrees and just stand there and look off in the distance. And I was like,
like they had a moment of truth where they went, "Oh, the beautiful sunset," or some shit like that. It's very
their AI is jank. So there's good and bad. You know, thematically, the game is super good. It feels like you're on the planet of Araxis. The sandworm is badass. Everything looks like Dune in a good way.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I like the scan and cut stuff, like she's showing right here on this video. I like that stuff.
All the survival stuff's really cool. Getting blood off people, converting it into water. Love that. So morbid.
Yeah.
But the quibbles I have are like the enemy AI is like turbo bad. But that's not always a bad thing in a survival game because that's kind of, you play Doom or Call of Duty if you want like stellar combat. Like, it's kind of okay. It still should be better, but it's kind of okay. But what I find super aggravating, Scott, I don't know if you've had this yet, but like I have a base, right? And it's like, I need some granite. So I'm going to go outside and I find a granite boulder. I scan it, I cut it, I break it, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And I collect the granite.
Yeah. And
then I go back into my house and I'm like, oh, I didn't get enough granite. I go out and that boulder's back 2 seconds later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, like, my place, like, Valheim's always my gold standard. You know, if you mine something, it's gone forever, right? Because you mined the rock.
Right.
So I get that it's a survival MMO. So, like, obviously, if they made it that way, other players would take everything and you'd never have anything.
Yeah. I wish they'd at least instance
it. It's like it's just big. It's like these rocks are magic and reappeared. It's very jarring. Like, okay,
characters also respawn. Enemy characters respawn like they would in WoW. Like if you thought you killed,
they respawn right in my face.
Yeah, you're like busy crafting. You're like, all right, I wiped this camp out. I'm gonna craft some bandages, make a new knife, and then all of a sudden you hear you over there. I'm like, I just cleared this, but what are you talking about? And the same guy's back. That's kind of annoying. Little too MMO for me, but whatever.
It's a little too MMO. So I don't know if the experience would be better on a rented server, like just not one of the public servers. I kind of
guessing yes.
I'm still just playing it now to get a feel for the game. But it definitely has pain points that I think like just I don't know, man. Because I like I want to play this game. Like I want to love it. And there's just stuff that I'm like, oh, you know, maybe in time it'll get better.
Yeah, I mean, Funcom has a decent reputation with doing this with Conan and other stuff. They made it better. And
I love the water system so far. I like all the crafting, but I hate the crafting menus. Oh my god, what an eyesore!
They're pretty bad.
I found it like I think it's just the colors. Like everything's a shade of brown or purple, and I look at it and I feel like I can't see anything. Like I'm just like, whoa. And I'm getting more used to it, though. So sometimes you complain about things because they're kind of hard to figure out. But it's actually not that bad, you know, once you get used to it. So
yeah, I think the UI is actually a strong point of the game, generally speaking. But the part where you're choosing recipes and making stuff is just a cluster. It's just like, blah, too much stuff. Yeah. Even if you don't unlock it all at first, like we were talking about, it's still just hard to look at. There's also this thing where I just saw him do it in the video, and I'm sure it'll happen again, but I'll go to stab somebody, and they have a cool move where they'll like kind of out of the way. It's an ability they have to get out of the way. But then sometimes I'll just stab at them, and then they'll lift up and float over 5 feet.
No, there's definitely like MMO jank for sure. 100%.
Which bums me out because I want
frame rate. Like I put my graphics to low. It feels choppy. I increase it. It's less choppy somehow, but still not great. Like I find like I'm starting to wonder if I have my own server, is it network lag from being on a server? You know, I just don't know.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. I don't know if you're having this problem because I only have a 3060.
It's running okay.
like-
The problem I have is it keeps telling me that the driver's out of date, but I go check the driver and I'm 100% up to date.
Yeah,
So
same
there's
problem.
Something
here.
going
Yeah.
on there.
I'm just like, why are you warning me about this? I have a good driver.
Yeah.
But anyways, but overall, I like the story moments. Like they've really nailed that aspect of like it feeling like Dune.
Oh, for sure. No complaints there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if anything, it's going to save it for me because the vibe is right. And if I can push through some of this jank, I think I can get to a place where the mid game is strong and, I
think you're going to like vehicle gameplay because I got to tell you, I've gotten my first sand bike and
You're definitely
assembling
further than
them
me.
is fun as shit because you got to get all the different pieces. And when you put it together, you got to assemble it like the pieces. It's like Lego or something. It's cool.
No, that's pretty rad.
There's really good things. Like that's what I'm saying is like there's some good stuff in here that you're like, okay, I'm liking this. And I cannot wait to get an ornithopter. I'm just like, oh man, I want to fly around.
This video is a bad example because I'm sending this video out to the listeners at 30 frames, but it's capturing at 60. And so it's doing that thing where it's only capturing the blades intermittently. So it's looking it doesn't look nearly that bad, I promise. It actually looks really well, because you've seen this cutscene, but it looks pretty good in action. But yeah, like I want an ornithopter. I want these big mech walker thing I've seen in some of the previews. There's a lot of texture pop in. That's my other beef. Every time the camera
I see
switches,
that too.
Yeah, you see
it's
it.
annoying. Like my character has no hair for 2 seconds every time they cut to her.
Yeah,
Including in some of the single player like missions when you're going on visions and stuff and inhaling spice.
yeah.
It's it's rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping, it's a MMO. I think they're gonna be working on it and hopefully it gets better. But there's a lot to like here too. So it's like, can I recommend it fully? It's like it's hard. I think I do recommend it, but I think you have to really like survival games and Dune and be willing to put up with some jank.
My favorite interaction about this was a group text. I think John is on this too. Me, Dr. Tolbert, and John. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And at one point, he was playing it early, and Dr. Tolbert says, let's see if I can pull this up, actually. This is great. Yeah, I can. He says, the sands physics are pretty good, and I can't tell if it actually rewards walking with rhythm yet. And then his very next message was, I just got eaten by a sandworm. So, I love
Don't get eaten by sandworm. You lose all your gear. Like normally you don't lose your gear, but sandworm is bad. Sandworm is goodbye.
Yeah, you're
gear.
done. I've heard. I haven't been attacked yet. I haven't gotten that anywhere. I've seen a worm once, and that's it.
They're everywhere. I don't know if it's just my server because, like I said, maybe it's a popular server and they're constantly being aggravated. But like, I'm constantly seeing that damn worm. Like,
yeah. They really, the part that is really strong here, and I do think it's a draw, is that it's just feels like some freaking Dune, man. It's just the vibe is all right, and the look and the feel, and you're gonna have, John may still have like desert issues. You know what I mean? Because it is very much that, but there's also a lot of indoor stuff I didn't expect, a lot of underground base stuff and things I didn't know were out there. But then again, this is an alternate history. And
did you go to the testing site?
I think I may have gotten to the testing
It's
site.
a pretty fun underground level where there's a testing site and
they kind of have dungeons, right? They're sort of
sort of adventure dungeons that your side quests get sent on and stuff. And there's rare resources in them, so you'll want to go in them.
It's weirdly reminiscent of Star Wars Galaxies in some ways. I get the vibe a lot, and not just the desert, like Tatooine wise, but like the little, I don't know, the janky huts people build. I just remember those early Galaxies days and something about
Well,
it.
because there were like 3 different models of each size house, or maybe even 2. So you went to Tatooine, and it was just like a sea of the same houses, like row after row after row after row. Because it just filled up, and there was like permanence to it. They didn't wipe anything out. And it was so sad when they did like their game updates, because you would go back and people would just change their house to like quitting due to game update, and there'd just be house after house after house of quitting due to new game update and all of that. It was a depressing thing to see.
Yeah.
One thing too about the houses though, there's taxation in this game. You just have to pay taxes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So you don't want to have too many houses, I think.
There's also the sun mechanic is like V Rising. You have to stay out of the direct sunlight.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's just kind of cool. Only during the day, but yeah, you can't. You got heat stroke in this game for sure.
Yeah, and I think later on you get abilities. Well, certainly get a still suit and stuff like that, so you can augment or you can much better mitigate that problem. But it does feel like it is a little sundial thing, and if you stand in the sun too long, it starts sticking up, and you got to get out.
I will say, if you're feeling frustrated or if the water collection feels low, there you do get those dew plants that you can only drink a little bit of water from.
Yeah.
There is a way to resource and get good chunks of water from them with the scythe. And the scythe is cool because you'd think, I'm going to use a scythe to swing, but it's actually this energy scythe.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing I say this game does really good is that it does its like sci-fi effects very cool, very neat, very like in universe. It's not like, oh, here's a laser sword. It's like, here's a it just does it in its own unique way, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, because the stuff is like they're organic things, the AI being banned. Like there's a whole thing in the Dune lore that would explain all that, but they do a good job of representing it without going full Star Wars or something. Which Star Wars went full Dune, so it doesn't matter. They kind of copied them, but
yeah. Anyways, it's so far I'm having fun. I think I'm gonna play more sessions of it. But I'm still, if the community is interested in like all playing together, so I have gotten messages about it. I think I'm still sort of in a place where I'm learning the game a little bit, so I'm gonna play solo for a bit longer before we figure that part out. Because I do find like the basiness of it kind of spammy and insane, and there's a whole PvP area and reason to clan up. So I think maybe at that point we'll figure that out, and we'll figure out if we're going to do it on a public server or do a private server deal rather than public.
I think first couple of patches will say a lot about what we'd end up doing too, just to see what they're addressing and how quickly.
Because if it's a private server, the PvP will kind of be off if we're all in the same team.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be a sad thing or actually going to be a better thing, because a lot of people don't like to do PvP, so it's kind of a way to not have to do that.
They broke some concurrent Steam record. I forgot what it was. Somebody's record got broken.
I think this game's like pretty popping. Like I know a lot of like Co has interviewed the developers, Co Carnage, Pirate Software has like a lot of. They've been really doing the rounds in terms of online content creators who might be into this kind of game. So I think there's a healthy audience for this. I think it's really it's well done, but needs a lot of work at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, hopefully they are. Yeah. All right, well, there's our joint play this week. I played a bunch of Switch 2 stuff, you guys.
You got the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Switch.
I've been switching it. I got the Switch 2. I got the bundle, so it came with the Mario Kart World. And we're looking at some video from that right here. This is the introduction to it. It is a lot less money to do it that way. This is an $80 game if you buy it by itself, whether digital download or physical. But if you get the bundle, it translates to about $50, about $49.99. Kind of what games should be. But so that's why I did it that way. I wanted to, try to, and that's why the bundle sold out way quicker than the others, because obviously this is just an obvious value for a lot of people. And I also love Mario Kart, huge fan of the series, and wanted to see what we had here. And as it turns out, Nintendo is really good at these. These are games they're really good at, and they give you exactly what you expect, and then add a little bit more, and maybe break those expectations a little bit. It is truly like open world when you're doing modes that are meant to use that world. It isn't the kind of game where you're doing one of these races and you suddenly just have a hankering to go off to the left and just see where it takes you. Because once the race starts, you're kind of in a place where you got to finish that race or exit out, I suppose. But it isn't that kind of freedom. The freedom comes in.
It's not like San Francisco Rush.
Right. Rush. Yeah. But even like Rush, if you did that, you were screwed, because you'd lose, right? If you found shortcuts that sped up your time, that's different. This game has those too, but the idea of this is like, hey, look at all that outside stuff, like the mountains off in the distance or those bluffs or whatever. Can I go to those? The answer is you absolutely can. Just don't do it while you're in a competitive race, because you're not gonna win anything. So you go into this like open world mode. I forgot what they called it, open drive or something like that. And I thought that was just going to be, hey, let's just go screw around. And we had some misinformation last episode where somebody in the chat or somebody said you have to be in multiplayer to even do that, and it's not true at all. You can just go anytime you want and play all by yourself. You go into open world mode, and you can go anywhere, including the tracks, but anywhere on this massive map. And in that world are all these like challenges and unlocks and secrets, like you would expect in almost like a regular Mario game. No matter what character you have, it kind of doesn't matter. But there's skins to unlock out there. Big giant P, the power stomp things. You go run into one of those, and it's like, all right, how quick can you get up the mountain and go through these rings? And if you do that, you're going to get, Wario's going to get a brand new pair of pants or whatever it is. There's a lot of that, and it's really well done. That stuff is way better than I expected. I thought it was going to be kind of a half-assed thing, or just sort of a, ooh, neat, I can drive around, but really the meat of the game is, let's get back to the regular Mario races. And the argument can be made that the real meat and potatoes is still, in the competitive racing. But I really appreciate the open world stuff. I think it's really cool, very creative, well thought out. You don't see the seams of anything. You're if there's a lake, you turn into a jet ski and you wave race around. The water affects how you jump and hit water and turns and all that. Like, cool. Crazy how that happened. Kind of low key gave us a wave race demo in this game. And there's also, as you can see, he's riding rails here. There's a lot of rail riding.
Is that new? I've never seen rail riding.
That is new, yeah. It's best I can tell. I don't remember seeing it in previous games. Ooh, he just almost lost. Oh, that was a turtle shell. Anyway, it's got the main mode. Your 3 speeds. The tournament, basically your single player campaign, and this is one big difference there. So unlike traditional Mario Kart games, sometimes you start running. So you'll notice on this video here, you're already moving before this thing starts because you're going off someplace else. So that countdown starts while you're kind of mid-drive, and then you hit your turbo and off you go. There's a lot of that. And also, it's not always laps. Sometimes it's laps because that's like a traditional experience. But oftentimes, it's not that at all. It's a big, giant continuation of the map. So
more like the European one.
Yes. A lot more like
whatever they call it. Dirt, I guess.
Like rally racing, yeah.
Yeah.
Except you're not, always in the dirt. They're different terrains, but
No, but it's just one big long continuous track.
Yeah.
No looping.
And it will come, the little cloud dude will come down and say, you're in length 1 of 8 or whatever, and they're shorter or whatever. So you're still having these like markers about where you're at, but it's just there's this seamless openness to it that really gives it a rad feeling of freedom. This one is like straight up, like here's a freeway with people on it. But most of the world is like you expect from a Mario game, where there's a lot of stuff. Oh, by the way, there is a way to avoid the blue shell, and I don't think this was ever possible before.
I thought there was in the past, but what is?
Okay,
I'll tell you if I've heard.
All
this
right,
before.
because I did this by accident, but it worked, and then I haven't had a chance to try it again. But or I did once and it didn't work the second time, or I wasn't fast enough. But basically, the way it worked was, if I hit the brake as it had to be timed just right. So you hear the and then it kind of hovers above you before it's going to slam down and land on you.
Oh yeah.
You hit the brake, and that thing goes just a little further, lands, explodes, doesn't touch you. Now you slow down, so you lose a little speed, but not near as much time is lost than if you got hit with the thing. So it's not perfect. Like, it doesn't keep your lead 100%, but it does. It feels less like the cheat that it always has felt like.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds better, because I am of the camp. As an old school Mario Karter, I don't like the blue shell. I don't think it should have been invented.
It's a bitch. I hate it.
Yes.
And
it's a punishment for performing the best.
Yeah, it's a cheap way of rubber banding. Like,
yeah, I don't like rubber banding, and I don't like the blue shell. I miss the old days of Mario Kart, where if you were really good, you lapped the hell out of them.
Yeah.
And you could do whatever you wanted because you were so far ahead.
The only one I hate more is the N64 game had just artificial rubber banding, where dudes would just catch up for no reason. I hated that. But this thing doesn't seem to be having any problems with that. In fact, this guy's just killing it because he's good. But a lot more skill based in this one. Anyway, the areas, the biomes, I would say, are very different, very unique, very different from each other. I don't even want to spoil how rad Rainbow Road is. Like, I know it's always kind of cool and it's different. It takes you out of things, but I don't even know how to describe that place. It is unhinged, wild, absolutely the craziest thing I've ever seen. And
this looks like from what I'm watching, this looks like I'm almost like, I almost want to play some Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's fun.
This actually looks like a pretty good entry into the series, right? Like,
yeah, I would agree with that. It's a great way that's the thing I was going to say. It's a great way to introduce your new console because it's a Nintendo flagship title. It was one of the most popular games of all time is Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe. And so for them to start this way is makes perfect sense.
Apparently, like 8 Deluxe, like that's a really old game. Like, yes, they re-released it for Switch, but apparently it's been out since the Wii U 10.
Yeah, Wii U's where it debuted, and then they refined it, added stuff, and all that. You see that little bag he just got? If you eat that food, that bag gives you. It's like a drive-up window in these towns. They're the ones that give you skins, and if you already have the skin, you won't get it. But if you get a random bit of food you've never had before, like Wario, I have a Mad Max skin for Wario now, and I freaking love it. Oh,
so they have like collectibles, basically.
Yeah. Except he kind of just looks like
play all the characters.
He looks like a gay bar leather guy in it, which is kind of funny.
No, I see.
Like what's that guy's name? Al.
Okay, I almost did it. Yeah, like Big Gay Al, just like that. No, not Al. The other one. The one was Jesus Christ. That guy. What was his name?
Mr. Slave.
Mr. Slave. Yeah, it's a little bit more like that. Yeah. Don't be offended at me. Everyone listening, go watch South Park and be offended at them.
Name of the character. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's just the way it works. But anyway, graphically very nice, very smooth, no frame drops, runs like butter, looks great, like it's clearly running on new hardware. Not that the last game looked great too, but this, I don't know, this is a step above that.
I'm transfixed watching this guy's play. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, little Tony Hawk thrown in there, a little bit of that. Here's some candy levels, like there's a lot of variety. And again, you're on this big giant world. It's like a giant world map, and that map is
all this is interconnected through a world map.
There is a way to drive through this whole effing thing without a load screen if you want,
and there's nothing to do in that mode. It's just for fun, right?
It's just for fun. I'll give you a tiny taste. Look at this little bit of Rainbow Road where it starts, just to taste, because there's your
you're doing a wave race,
little wave race. You can see how it's like moving to the water and stuff. I hate Pauline.
As Pauline, what's wrong with Pauline?
She's fine. She's all right. I have another story to tell about her in a minute, which is unrelated to this game.
Pauline,
but I mean, look at this thing. Just look at the shit going on here. Really
gonna make our platform an anti-Pauline platform?
I mean, with
there's the Rainbow Road.
Great power, great responsibility. This road, I don't want to show you too much. It's so wild. This is like just the okay part, but. It's so cool. I mean,
this is probably going to be the only way that I see. Yeah, none of us are going to see it.
That's a good point.
People at home can look away.
Yeah, you guys. It's really neat, though. Super impressed with it. The online play is great. I played a bunch of online matches. The races are good. Back are like the coin. I forgot the coin capture name of it. Anyway, the multiplayer with the balloons, like the elimination mode balloon thing, that's wild because now it's like 32 of you. It's a ton of people, and you're running around trying to pop each other's balloons. Man, that is a riot. That's super fun. That was really easy to get into.
Apparently, there are missions in the free roam.
Oh, there totally are. Yeah, they're all over the place. You have to kind of find them and unlock them. I'm sure there's videos already where they all are located. But
have you tried the C button? Yeah.
No. It's a communication button, right? Like it's where you talk to people.
That's one word that starts
it with such disdain.
I mean, I just haven't.
I've also
a communication button where you talk to people.
I mean, if I hit it now, it says game chat, and then it loads, and then I welcome to game chat, get everything set up. I mean, it's basically just voice chat, right? Like,
I mean, to be fair, I would put tape over that button so that I didn't accidentally push it. I have no interest in the communication.
Can't you do like video Discord with people when you press that button?
Let's see. Is there?
If you've played online, I would just wonder if what you think.
Well, I haven't done that yet, where I had video involved or even audio. Let's see. So I can just let me skip past all this. It's trying to get me to do a bunch of shit I can't do right now. But yeah, in theory, there's some value to the C button. I just haven't really used it.
I was just curious because you said you're doing the online stuff, so I thought,
Yeah.
I mean, you did anything with it?
It's the other thing I'm not sure about, and this is something just because I'm still new in the game, but there's dynamic weather and day-night cycles. That's the other weird thing.
Oh shit!
But I know, right? I've sold you on a Switch too now.
No, it's like it's it feels like a Mario Kart kitchen sink. It's just like how much shit can we put in here?
Yep. Lots of inspired stuff from previous
not
games.
Not a bad thing, but it's like, does it need it?
Right.
Maybe, because driving at night's different than driving in the day.
Yeah, driving in the rain makes you slicker. Like there seems to be some physics at play, but also the one part I can't tell is if I'm going to get access to a bunch of previous games' favorite maps or anything, because a lot of these games do that. That may come later in the form of downloads.
DLC.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe it's in there and I just haven't gotten to where I would see some of that. I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds solid to me, honestly.
It really is. It's very, very good. Is it $80 solid for people just walk into a Walmart to pay $80? I mean, I don't know. If it's the only game you play for 6 months of this generation, maybe.
If you're paying Nintendo, that's your life. Like if you're playing the first party Nintendo games, you don't have a set choice of sales. I don't know. I don't think stores go. It doesn't go on sale at Walmart and stuff that much, does it?
No, not really. They stay pretty samey, I think, over time.
You're just acknowledging, like, okay, my gaming budget, like I play Nintendo games and they're always going to cost this much, and I have to decide if I'm interested enough in playing it. But like, I mean, this to me seems like a solid title. So
it's super fun. And the competitive stuff's really good. I like that stuff. So anyway, I'm loving it. That's a great game. And I guess I am impressed with the performance of the device. That's one thing I will say. Certainly, this is a first-party game.
Was it hot in your hands or pretty decent?
No, my battery life's been okay. No big issues. There's some people that were, but there is an issue that's a bug. They were going to patch it. Also, there's a couple of workarounds, but there's a thing where the battery life is being misreported on some devices.
Oh no!
So some people are showing, 3%. I better hurry and go charge it. But then they get to 0 and it's still working. They're like, how's that possible? It turns out it's not really that low. It's actually like 30%, but the thing's misreporting it. So there's some patch coming for that for those who are affected. It's not affecting me. Mine's been fine. But store's way better. I wanted to report on that. No music in there, but the store's way snappier. Like it works like a proper store now.
Cool.
I bought a bunch of little dinky games on sale just because there's always stupid little indies on sale for like $1.99. I like that store for that. I may have done a thing that I can't really talk about yet because I didn't play enough to really have much to say yet.
Does this involve Priscilla? Oh,
no, Priscilla. Oh, you mean
yeah, you didn't tell us what exactly.
Not Priscilla. What's her name?
Priscilla.
Pauline.
Pauline. Yeah, why you don't like Pauline?
All right, I'll talk about Pauline. I decided to see how games I already owned performed on here, right? How do they improve? Yeah. Do they just look the same? Do you have to buy these upgrades or whatever? I read somewhere online that Mario Odyssey just straight up upgrades to be faster, better, whatever, or that you just have to pay for it. It was like a free upgrade. I don't know if that's true or not. All I know is as soon as I installed it, it looks insane. It looks so good. Gone is the 30 frame locked frame rate. Plays like a dream. Odyssey's an all-timer. I freaking love that game. And so I'm like, sweet, let's get in here and play a bit of this. And before I knew it, I was playing a lot of Odyssey. A game that's like 7 years old now. And I got pretty far, and I got to that weird-ass town, New Donk City.
Yeah, New Donk City.
Yeah, what's got the people in it?
Yeah.
It's so effed.
The real people, not Mario people.
Real people. That place is freaking effed. All right, I'm sorry. It's just effed up, and I'm not complaining.
Why
I think
is
it's
it
great.
effed up? It's the most like our real city.
That's the point. That's why. It's just weird. And they all talk like Simlish, except the announcer is like, our city's having a party. And I'm like, well, why is everyone else talking Simlish and you're speaking English?
That's who you make the announcer. If everybody else can't speak and one guy can, that's who you make the announcer.
I guess so. But it was... I just was reminded how great that it's such a great game, and I almost 100% of it.
Okay, but what's your problem with Pauline?
All right, so we're in New Donk City, right?
Yes.
And she does this thing where she has to perform. She's kind of the mayor. She is the mayor. She's the mayor of New Donk City.
She's the mayor, and she sings you songs.
Yeah, and the whole thing's a great tribute to Donkey Kong and her role in it, and the forgotten princess of the games. It's kind of great that way.
Are you about to complain about the song? Because if you are, I swear to God, Scott, it is such a good song.
No, I'm not going to complain about that. And also, what you do during that song, where you do a lot of 2D old school Mario to get up and thank her for everything, is pretty rad. Like, all that stuff's really neat. My beef with her is when I'm trying to find band members to play for her, and they're giving me moons for it, right? I'll get to like a really high place and say, oh, there's the drummer. Okay, let's go over and talk to the drummer or the guitarist or whatever. And he'll say, yeah, man, or I'll do it in Simlish, me, mo, moo, and then he'll want to go with me. And then I get a moon, and then it teleports me down into the club where she's singing, even though it took me forever to get up there, and there's other shit I want to do while I'm up there, but I got to go see her. So she says, all right, that's the guitarist. Now we need a drummer. And then I got to go all the way back out and find that place. That's why I'm mad at Pauline.
Her fault.
I blame her. Why does she need to tell me anything?
If she had teleporting powers, she wouldn't be sending you to get the band members.
This is a good point. Somehow she's teleporting me back to where she is, though. Or I guess the hat.
No, she's not doing it. Somebody else is. Yeah, the hat.
The hat's doing it.
That's who's responsible.
Maybe I should blame the hat.
And if the hat has teleport powers, why is he making you do all this crap?
Yeah. Yeah. But that game, you could have fooled people and not released that years ago and put it out here as a new game for the Switch 2, and nobody would question it. It looks that good, plays that good, and is so good. Like, just so well structured. Puzzles are incredible. That is a sublime Mario game. I love that game. The only thing that even makes you remember that it's a Switch 1 title originally is that the menus, some of the menus in between show the two Switch Joy-Cons as different colors than the new ones are. And that's the only thing you would even know.
What are the two new colors of the Switch?
Well, John, after some
Can you put yourself on record and just tell me what the two colors are?
I told people that was orange and then that was blue. Blue is no problem, no argument. People said that's not orange, that's red. It's not red.
Isn't it not red, but like a salmon?
It's more
like
salmon pink,
it's salmon.
Salmon's the correct answer, but people were sure that it was red.
I just wanted you to get people mad in another place.
I did a whole video about this, and people.
Like the world according to me.
According to me, this is the real color of these Joy-Cons. Yeah, those are going really good. I'm having really a big bunch of fun with those.
They're entertaining.
I'm having a good time with them. But anyway, people took some issue. Mostly strangers who I'll never meet and probably won't see the reply.
Well, that's the fun part about the shorts is you get a bunch of tourists that are just like, I've known nothing about your content, so I'm going to be enraged.
Yeah, I'm going to be a pisser. He said, hey, thanks.
To this day, I did a video of my first attempt to fight a boss in Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And just getting caught off guard by what they do mechanically. I will still currently get people going, I did it. It's like, the game's been out forever. Like it was new.
Yeah, it's a weird world in there, and I don't take it that seriously. But what's fun is like the one guy goes, I love this video, and the reason I love it is because now I know whose content to downvote and never see again because he's dumb enough to buy a Switch 2. And I'm like, yeah,
I saw that and I thought, oh no, does Scott think I have a troll account and I'm writing reviews on his videos?
I mean, I admit for 1 second I was going to maybe give you attribution, but I decided not to.
Is this John?
But yeah,
you got me.
Turns out Odyssey's awesome. I also installed the Kirby Eats the World game. I forgot the full name. Kirby Eats Cars.
You called it Kirby Eats Cars.
Yeah.
In here, and I think that's a great name.
It's a pretty good name. It's a descriptive name, but whatever that's called, I don't know why I forgot. Kirby's Forgotten thing, whatever it is. That also plays extremely well, which makes me wonder why people are going to spend $20 in October or whatever, or August or whatever it is, to buy the upgrade. Because this is one of those where they're like, hey, the next gen upgrade for this is usually it's $10 for like Zelda or something. And in this case, they're like, no, it's going to be $19.99. You can pre-order it. And I'm like, $20, really? Let me see how it plays now. It's so buttery smooth. I don't know what I'm paying for if I do that.
You're paying for it to play less smooth because you're going to up-res it.
I guess so. I don't even know.
It for money.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So I still have a bunch of issues with Nintendo on that. They're very unclear about what the upgrades do, who they're for, or whatever. But I did spend. Should I even admit to this? I'm just going to get shit for it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I did it for the show, guys. I did it for the show.
Packer's already halfway out. Might as well just show the whole thing.
I did it for the show. And I really mean this when I say I did it for the show. I really, truly did this for the show because I wanted to be able to speak to it without just having an opinion without playing it.
Tax write-off.
Partly. I mean, I will definitely write it off, no doubt. All this stuff gets written off.
Me too.
But anyway, I got holy shit, look at this level he's racing in. I haven't been there yet. So I got Tears of the Kingdom, and what I should have done is taken my daughter's copy of it on cartridge and just done the $10 upgrade to get all the next gen features, and I didn't because I forgot.
You bought the full enchilada,
which is $80 mother effing dollars. All right,
Jesus,
it's expensive. I did it for two reasons. One, to give that Tears of the Kingdom a real shake. This is Bowser's colon right here, by the way. This is part of the race.
This level looks amazing. Like,
it's really incredible.
You got to stop showing Mario Kart footage because I'm like, I think I might buy one. This looks so cool.
It's really neat. Like they've
people
outdone
in our
themselves.
Discord were predicting that Bo was going to be the next to break and buy a Switch too.
I was never I'm anti-Switch just because I don't think I'd use it that much. I bought the other one and used it a ton for Pokemon Unite and then stopped using it. Why would I spend $700 on something I'm not going to use?
But then
I'm watching this Mario Kart and I'm like, this Mario Kart looks psycho. Like this looks so cool.
It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so I'll just let it sit there and run because it's a fun little background. But so I started Tears. I decided to do this because I just wanted to give it a fair shake. You know, it was a lot of people's game of the year that year. It's Zelda. It's the long tradition of wonderful games. Like I can't just poo-poo it without touching it. And breaking weapons aside, which they are in there again. I will say it's less of a problem because it's not as big a deal because it's not what the game's really focused on, but there's still breakable weapons in there. That's still going to be an issue for a lot of people. It was an issue for me thinking about it or getting into it, but I think I owe those people an apology. Because that game is really pretty freaking cool.
You never said it wasn't.
I know, but
what are you going to apologize for? Not playing a game you weren't interested in?
I think for being so dismissive of it because I was just like, breakable weapons, this and that. Like it just threw a whole game away for one thing I didn't like about the last one. And I think that was, is it $80 worth yet? I don't know because I'm not that far. I'm like maybe 2-3 shrines in and I'm still learning some of the base mechanics. I've put a few things together with the building stuff. It's clear that thing is a seriously cool, well thought out, like creatively amazing game. Already, I can tell. So I'm going to try to make that worth it and play a ton of it. And then I'll tell you whether the $80 was well spent. I think I'm going to go ahead and just say, though, I think that Nintendo charging $80 for every first-party game here on out, including ones that you have to rebuy from the last generation with better graphics or whatever, I think that's just too much, period. I think that Microsoft doing it with Outer Worlds 2 is too much, even if it's the greatest game ever. Like it just doesn't feel like this respects gamers, and it feels like the wrong time to be cranking stuff by like double in some cases. So I'm looking for third parties to set the record straight and indies to continue to be a place where people can afford games. And, these devices will not, I don't think it could all survive on $80 games. It just can't, it just won't happen. I mean, three $80 games and you got a new
Metroid
console.
Dread 2 is coming at some point, and I'll be like, oh, damn, $80. Here we go.
Right? Or the new, or Prime 4, you might be playing that,
I'm not as big on the first-person Metroids. I like the side ones.
Oh, man, the first-persons are good, though.
I like the first-person ones. There's also a bet on when I get a Switch, too, and that will be the big temptation, but I think I can fight.
Probably.
You have a stronger case for it, though, because you can write it off, but not really write it off as a family machine,
Well, yeah, but we can write it off for tax reasons.
Eventually, in the fullness of time. Like, maybe you're not ready for one now, but, like, I think at some point...
Yeah, I mean, eventually there's going to be pushback from the kids of like, why don't we have a Switch 2? We have a Switch 1. Why don't we have a Switch 2?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to them.
And like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, this Mario Kart looks like it's just. I'm not big on Mario Kart. I don't even think I really want it, but there's just something like it's so colorful.
It's just magical. Just Nintendo sauce in there, you know.
I don't know. It just looks like a really strong entry in the Mario Kart franchise. Like, just forget the Switch conversation a sec. Just like this looks.
Yeah.
It's
really tight.
They didn't leave any colors unused.
Yeah, and tons of characters. That's the other thing. And I haven't even locked them all yet, but there's so many. The races are 64 players or some shit, or 32, whatever it is. It's cool. Anyway, that's my brief discussion. I think that went long, but that is my long discussion about things so far in the world of this.
No, we want to hear about the Switch because you're the first person I know to play and report on it.
Yeah, and I assume all those people last year that were like, you guys don't cover the Switch enough. I hope you appreciate that I'm biting this bullet for you, and I am entertained. I'm having a great time. I'm not, that's not me saying these aren't fun. I'm only doing this for work. I'm actually really enjoying myself. I'm a sucker for Nintendo games, and this stuff is wild. I mean, look at this map or this track, just insane. Anyway, big recommendation across the board, except for I think they are nickel and diming gamers, and it bugs me a little bit. So there's that. And I try. I meant to mention this just briefly. I tried the new online thing where you play. It lets you play GameCube games and N64 and all that stuff. The GameCube games, there are only 2 of them in there right now. Wind Waker and what's the one called where you the sword of time and space? Here's
Soul Calibur.
Thank you. Soul Calibur 2.
Oh man.
Soul Calibur 2 with Link.
That was my favorite version because it had Link in it.
It was maybe the best one they did. It was really good. Anyway, that stuff plays great. Real good on there. You get save states. It's a nice legal way to play those things. I know there are other ways to play them, but it was all right, except there's only 2 games, and they're just going to piecemeal those out like the other systems, and I kind of hate that part. But the GBA games play really well. Everything on there's, is good for what they give you is good. Oh, and there's an F-Zero 99. Remember Tetris 99? Do you remember that thing in the last Switch generation? There is a F-Zero 99 where 99 of you race to be the final Battle Royale winner of F-Zero Racing. That's pretty fun.
Interesting.
I played that. Anyway, I'll have more to say next week. But Kirby keeps eating chars, and Mario keeps doing
Kirby.
Odyssey
Also
things.
a good name for that one.
And then one other tiny one. I played Guns of Fury, and I wanted to mention this because I know you guys like the aesthetic of this as much as I do. This is a indie game that is also on Steam, and I think PlayStation and Xbox. It's called Guns of Fury, Switch 1 or 2. I got it on sale. It was super cheap on the store, and I just grabbed it because I liked the way it looked. It is Metroidvania meets Metal Slug, and somehow that combination absolutely works. I don't know quite how it's doing it, but it's both difficult and satisfying. Here's your little dude running around, very Metal Sluggish, animation wise and kind of what you're doing, side scrolling shoot 'em up. But it's a giant map with backtracking and new abilities, so new places to unlock, and go and try that. Like total Metroidvania stuff going on.
That's awesome.
It's
this
rad.
is a good combo. I like Metal Slug should do this, because honestly my biggest problem with Metal Slug is that I'm just not the biggest fan of that type of game.
Yeah.
But I love looking at the sprites, and I love playing it.
Yeah. And it's not so hard. Like I don't feel like it's not frustratingly hard, but saves are like Metroid. You got to find a save room and save, and if you die you got to go back there and try again, and then there's lots of traversal, and it's the weirdest combo, but it works. It totally freaking works, and I'm having a ball with it. And it was cheap, and I think it might not even be in sale anywhere but the eShop. I could be wrong on that, but anyway, neat one to keep your eye on, maybe wish listed or something. But it's called Guns of Fury, and it is available now. Been out for a little while, I think. Let's go to, sorry it took so long. Let's go to John. John?
No, it's fine. Mine's going to be pretty brief for the most part. First thing I want to mention, just because it's a bit of a goofy thing, but I mentioned it to you guys, and I did the Star Wars Fortnite event. Speaking of things that were shown over the weekend, this one didn't need to be, but they showed an advertisement for their Star Wars Fortnite event. And I did it. And I finally successfully did a damn Fortnite event for a season. And it was actually pretty cool. So they had a waiting room lobby for it, which was a little game of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, where you would get put on Team X-Wing or Team TIE Fighter. And the goal was to either protect or destroy a Star Destroyer. And you'd fly around and, there were power-ups and dogfights and stuff like that. And then once the event started, they dump you on the Death Star. The footage I found online is Peter Griffin running around.
I hate it so much, but I love it at the same time. That's great.
Which is, if you see someone with a Peter Griffin skin, that's a sweat right there. Is what that is.
Yep.
And you can basically disguise yourself as a stormtrooper or a prisoner. And then you go through this whole big bunch of Death Star corridors, and they're telling a story about, the Imperials have been raiding Fortnite Island and taking all their stuff, and they're going to blow it up. The Death Star is going to blow it up, and you're there to help facilitate a trench run so they can blow up the Death Star. And Scott, if you want to skip ahead, sorry to the audio listeners, skip ahead to near the end. Let's get to the Palpatine fight. Because that's really where it pops off. I'd go a little further back than this.
Why does it wait? Peter Griffin's not wearing a helmet, so they just
yeah. Yeah. It was my favorite thing is that if you dressed yourself as a stormtrooper, at a certain point they say like the disguises don't matter anymore, so everybody takes off their helmets. And so it's just whatever skin you have's head on top of a stormtrooper body. Yeah. And it was one of the funniest looking things because you'd see like Goku and you'd see other people that are wearing different helmets and you'd see like Chewbacca heads and like all sorts of wacky stuff sticking out of the top of these stormtrooper costumes.
That's great.
It was so goofy. I did it with my stepson and it was just the stupid stuff that you could do while you were running around. It was so dumb and it was so fun, and it kind of all culminates in this room. Go forward a little bit more. So you first have to take out these turbo lasers so that the trench run can happen, which is what they're doing right there. And then you move forward a little bit more. Keep going.
I saw Goku run, or I saw somebody. I don't know who that was. That's funny.
So eventually, you get into this room. You go down, and it's this big hangar area that you kind of fall through the floor, and then this big door opens up, and then you get a big hologram of the Emperor appears. It's a little further ahead than this, but you're getting real dangerously close.
Because everyone's dancing. Yeah. I assume they're waiting for the...
Yeah, so a big ominous door opens. That's the door opening, and you go in, and they even pointed out, they're like, geez, a door we didn't ask to open mysteriously opens. This can't go bad.
Yeah.
And Palpatine, you're about to see his big head pop up there, and he basically tells you, this is all transpiring as I have foreseen. And he rises up out of the floor, and it was so funny because you got all these people, and they just all start unloading lasers at him. And they make Palpatine look like an actual badass, which Episode 3 couldn't even do. He just deflects all of the lights, all of the laser bolts coming at him, and he just starts murking everybody you're there with. And I don't know if it's programmed to... where if you're in a party with someone, you stick around, because he did start killing people that were in our party, and they would despawn completely. So he yanks all your guns away and throws them out into space. Then he starts dropping TIE fighters on you and killing people. Then he starts electrifying you.
This is kind of great.
Yeah. And so then it turns into this whole big thing where they use an item that you can use in Fortnite where you create like a rift warp.
Yeah.
And it kind of spawns you up in the air so you can get a different positioning. And they use it inside the hangar, which they admit they don't know what it's going to do. And it drops you back on the island. So if you skip forward just a little bit more, you'll see the Death Star explosion, which is like actually pretty cool. So they do this cutscene. I guess we'll see Peter Griffin go through it where you're falling and you hear the trench run going on at the same time as they go to blow up the Death Star. Meanwhile, the Death Star's getting ready to blow up Fortnite Land. And you'll see.
And are you hearing like the stuff? If I play it, I'll get blocked. But it's the actual Star Wars dialogue from the first game.
Yeah, they're talking about the torpedoes going, and the Death Star gets ready to fire, and just as it's about to go, whoa, the whole thing blows up, and it actually looked really cool. It was really awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
And then it ends with Superman, like all Star Wars stories. It ends with Superman.
What?
So the Death Star stuff rains down on the island, and
I can't take it seriously.
and you're coming back to life, and then it goes to space to show that the island's there. Oh, this video cuts before it got to the Superman bit.
Poop.
Yeah, so then it pans to space and it pulls back, and Superman apparently arrives having just watched this. And then that's the lead into the new season, which is all superhero themed, with Superman being a big character.
You know what? The fact that they get to do that, I know they have to pay a lot of money to get these IPs, but what a fun people programming and like in the behind the scenes on this thing must be having the time of their life.
Bo, you still with us?
Oh, what's going on there?
Bo's being visited by Jesus right now.
I don't know what's happening.
Is that
There
better?
he is.
It's literally a little sliver in the curtain is enough that's pointing right at the camera.
That is perfect. I think this is the latest we've gone in a while. There you go.
I bring to you a message from heaven.
Tell
Treat
us.
one another with love.
I was going to say, tell us, Angel, what is it you require of us Earthlings now?
I require you to love yourself and love thy neighbor.
Oh, really? Because I just want to shoot people and stuff. Really?
And stop the violence.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
throw him into space.
Okay.
Back to normal.
Anyway, so that was the Fortnite event, which honestly I gave more time than it deserved, but it was fun. Like, it was really cool to see. It was really fun to do, and the fact that they do these things every couple of months is like, it's really impressive.
Yeah, I have to admit that looks pretty great. Again,
it's
this is
just
one of those
so
things I
fun.
poo-poo sometimes because I don't know a thing about it, and now I see it and I'm like, you know what? That's badass.
And you just get in with your friends or your family and you do it together, and it's just fun. And like, you know, my stepson was like pumping his arms and yelling. He was so excited, and like, it just gets to him. So that stuff's cool.
You didn't have to microtransact that. That's the thing you just get. It's just part of the game.
No, that's just you have to play on the day at the time. Like, that's how they take the servers down for maintenance. Like, after the Death Star blew up, the servers blew up. You were no Fortnite for a couple hours.
And that's actually kind of cool in itself. Like a great transition of, why are the servers down? Well, as you saw, son, the Death Star exploded, and that's trouble. And Superman's we got to wait until this, you know what I mean? Like, you can have some fun as a dad and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's it's kind of one of those things, like when an MMO dies, it's like, how is it going to go out? Is it going to be a big event? Are they going to do something cool for the end of the MMO? It's like that mentality, but they just do it seasonally, so the game gets to keep going, which is really cool and neat.
Yeah, I like that.
So I like that stuff. In terms of actual like games that I invested and put some time into, though, I beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was the game I went back to. And then I started Star Wars Jedi Survivor because that was the game I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. And I've been playing a lot of that. It turns out that game is really freaking good. I forgot how good it is. I forgot all the traversal stuff they give you when you start unlocking all of Cal's abilities, and you get like double jump and dash and grapples, and then you get into the green gates, which reset your double jump dash, and you just start doing some crazy aerial things. My wife came in and watched it, and she goes, "Oh, no wonder you like this game. It's basically Star Wars and Spider-Man all in one," because I was just swinging around, grabbing things, dashing and stuff. Really, really good. And it got a lot of bad press when it first came out because of technical issues. they're still there, some of them. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm on a system that's far more current than this game was, and I ended up turning off ray tracing because this game was still getting real framey at times. It's been completely smooth after that. Like, I kind of feel like maybe ray tracing wasn't optimized properly for it. Seems like that's been the big issue. But yeah, this game is so good.
That's great.
Good.
You guys, didn't you and Bo beat it in 2023 or something? Pretty close.
I beat it. I don't remember how far Bo got.
I never actually finished it. It got abandoned, but I played quite a bit of it.
Yeah, you guys were. I remember you guys.
I got
to it for a while.
far enough in it, but like I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I hardly touched it. I should go
finished
back. This is time for me to give it another shot.
You should. I would play story mode. This is a third-person action game, kind of dressed as a Souls-like game. It does have some of those mechanics to it. It's not that hard. Like, you can play on even the base level above, like what they consider default difficulty. I haven't died from something that wasn't me falling off something or fighting like an intentionally tough boss.
Yeah. I have no problem playing it in story mode. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I really appreciate that it exists. If this was like strict Souls-like and they were like, get good, I'd be like, I'll probably not play your game then. It's fine.
Yeah. It's really good. The story's really good, and it's very pretty. I wish they had, maybe finished fixing its performance a little bit, but it still looks good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like it, and it led to maybe the weirdest good transition of gameplay experience that I've ever had, because around the time I was playing this, I was reminded that Stellar Blade has come out on PC, and I had pre-purchased that.
Coming soon to the Xbox handheld this fall, by the way, because now it's on PC. So there you go.
I thought I would give a little more time to this because I played a very little bit, like basically just out of tutorial on the PlayStation. And I was like, I liked it. I felt like it had something. What I didn't realize is that this game, almost 1-for-1, plays exactly like Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Walked right into it and played another one. That's great.
It is the same buttons to block. It is the same buttons to dodge. It's the same buttons to attack. You can even do a very small air dash. So my muscle button memory, like when I did a jump and was like, oh, I'm not going to make it, and I hit B instinctively on a jump, I did an air dash and I was like, holy shit, that worked. And I didn't even, because they hadn't taught me that I could do that yet, but I did it because I could do it in Jedi Survivor. There are a couple minor differences, like obviously force ability is not a thing in Stellar Blade, but they do have special attacks and special abilities. The only complaint I have so far is that the button for block and parry is also a prerequisite press to do what would be your special attacks. And the amount of times that I don't release the block button fast enough to do a counterattack, and I end up wasting my special meter because I'm still holding block from my riposte, whatever you want to call it. It happens a lot. And it's a real small nitpick, but mechanically they do a lot of things where it's like, okay, well, if you get a perfect block and then you press this button, you'll do a special move. But the block button and that same button are also a special attack independent of themselves. And I keep burning through my special meter just trying to do cool counters and stuff like that. That's the only thing about this game that I haven't liked. That, and I do get dirty looks from my wife when she comes in the room.
It's easy to do.
She just is like, what are you playing? And I was like, I'm playing it as I wrote in our show notes. I'm playing it for the articles.
Yeah, of course.
It's just this
interesting stuff in there. This game is currently overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Seems like a good reception so far.
It plays great. Now it's hard to say because again, I am on a newer system. I don't know how performance is on others, but I was shocked at how good it looks and how well it is performing, like right out of the gate. And it's really cool. I cannot wait to get back and play more of this game. Like, it is a fun action game. It's an interesting world. Yes, there's a lot of eye candy that you may or may not feel guilty about playing, but there's actually a little bit of meat on the bones. It's not just about that. And I'm having a really good time learning about the world, learning how to fight the various creatures, and playing it. It's very cool.
All right, nice. We will hear more about that later. Bo, let's dive into your. You still playing Night Rain like it's the best game of the year?
I mean, I'm slowing down because I've been playing other games, Valheim and Dune Awakening. But I still, usually what I'll do is I'll be like, I'm going to grab a match or two of Night Rain and then do the thing I want to do. So that's kind of where it's.
Yeah, it's good though. I like a game like that.
It's fun. It's good. Yeah, I played a little bit more with Kyle and Garrett. I got them their first boss kill. Helped them with that. That was exciting. It's
nice.
Fun. It's definitely a lot more fun to play with friends. So much more coordinated. We're all like, let's go here. Yeah.
It looks like Magic the Gathering. Oh, it's because the timestamp is Magic.
Oh,
never mind.
Timestamp's wrong. It's the same VOD actually. Just go earlier.
Oh, is it earlier? There we go. Oops. There we go. Wait.
No, not that much earlier.
That's Patapon.
Maybe like 1 hour in. This is me looking at trailers.
How long did you play that night? 8 hours. Holy shit.
It's an 8-hour stream. So go to hour 1.
You're an impressive man. Wait, what the hell's this? Sorry. This isn't it. Where is this? Oh, no, that was Dune.
These are trailers. Yeah. Keep going.
I'm all the way at the beginning.
Not earlier, later.
Oh, later.
Yeah. Nope. That's Dune. 1 hour in.
1 hour in.
1 hour in.
1 hour in.
1 hour and a half.
Okay, hour and a half. We got an hour. Let's try the half. There's 22. That you talking? Let's go more talking.
Try 2
I'm
hours.
amazed we've seen this much Bo if it's off his stream. I'm surprised it's not just an empty chair. Oh, there's the empty chair.
Right when you said it. John called it
right before going. That was we actually had a really good run, so I'm sad I put the wrong timestamp in.
No, it's all good. That's cool though. So still fun, still having a good time. That's all.
Yeah, still fun, having a great time. I love Night Rain. Best game of the year. Best game ever. I'm playing The Witch now.
Nice. Yeah,
honestly, I love this game. Like if I just could just play this, I'd just play this. It's fine.
Does the witch have to look so much like a witch? You know what I mean? Like cartoon.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I don't know, dude. Just the pointy hat and the whole thing. Where's her cauldron?
She's got a real weird look too, so don't take this the wrong way when I say it, but she's black, and I don't mean African American. I mean she's literally pitch black,
burnt.
Yeah, like actual, it's not. She still kind of has Caucasian features. She's just like the pitchest of black. It's just, and it kind of looks weird because she, it just. And I'm like, I don't know what the explanation is, but that's just how they made her. So
I wish the combat. I wish the combat in Dune played like. And I wish it played like the combat in any other games we talked about today.
Just literally pick one.
Yeah, even the Kirby Eats Cars game has better combat than Dune Awakening.
The Dune combat's not.
I hope they improve it.
It's that MMO combat where you're like, well, it's an MMO, so of course they can't do combat great. But that's become less and less true over the years when you're playing one of these really good, long-standing MMOs.
Yeah.
So it harkens back to that time.
But anyways, yep. You did play some Magic, though. How'd that go for you there?
So the Final Fantasy set's out as of yesterday, and that link should take you to an actual Final Fantasy game.
Yep.
And I think it's important to watch this because it has been such a weird experience. So I play a lot of draft, and draft generally you're just like, I know you pick the best cards and try to make the best deck. It was so hard to do because everyone has the Final Fantasies they like, and I just want to pick the cards I have biases for and ignore the ones I don't. And so, drafting was super. I'm still doing okay. We're still learning the format, but it's so weird. You'll see, I think in my hand I have Graha Tia, which I know,
Graha Tia, yeah.
Which I know John will know who it is, but I don't know who it is.
Great choice. I know nothing about the card, but man, what a fantastic choice you've done.
What is Graha Tia? I don't even know what that means. I know Tia.
Well, you didn't make it far.
I know who Tifa is.
Fantasy 14.
But
not Tifa.
Not Tifa, sorry.
Fantasy 14.
Oh, 14.
He's a cat man.
Oh, I have no idea what that is then. Zero idea.
He hasn't gotten that far, but it is so crazy because every piece of art you're looking at is something from a Final Fantasy. There's Moogles everywhere. There's towns and weapon vendors. I have instant ramen in my hand, which I don't know what the reference that is to, but I think it's 16 maybe. It looks like a guy from 16 eating the ramen. There's like I don't have it on stream, but I had played this black red deck that had Black Waltz number 2. I can't remember.
Yeah, one of the black waltzes from
And
9.
it's a really powerful card. Maybe it's number 9. And I'm just like, someone would really appreciate this reference, but I don't. But then
I do. I'm like,
I got the Buster Sword, and I was like, I don't care if this card's good or not. It was a mythic rare, so it's rare enough. I'm like, I got the Buster Sword. I'm taking the Buster. I'm never not taking the Buster Sword.
See, I'd have the same problem. I would just be like, well, I like these characters, so I took these.
Yeah, so
I can't do anything with them, but I took the cards I liked.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think I kind of see maybe why there's some. I see the joy of like maybe what's happening in Fortnite with John when I'm playing Final Fantasy, because it is like low key kind of. It's kind of exciting just to see.
You're nerding out over your favorite stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe one day they'll put Final Fantasy in Fortnite, and you can get a Buster Sword, and you can finally
maybe I don't know if
join the
that
dark
would be
side.
the one, but like I sort of I'm like, okay, so I get it a little bit. It's been pretty hype, and anyways, I drafted it, and it's cool.
What does Muha mean? Like
What?
the name Muha. You said Muha Tia. What the hell is Muha?
No,
Graha
Graha.
Tia.
Oh, Graha. There's no Muha. Someone in the chat said Muha Tifa, and I went, oh yeah, Muha. Wait a minute, what is Muha? That's all. Never mind.
Well, that's the other thing. So I watched this podcast called Limited Resources, and their like focus is on limited in Magic, and it's funny because one of the hosts is Marshall Sutcliffe. He's been doing the show for like a bajillion years, like 10 or more or something like that. So, but he only plays like Magic and poker. He's not a video game guy. He likes to make watches and stuff, but he's really into Magic. Like he's been a host at like esports events and stuff.
Sure.
But he just has this vertical where he just plays Magic. So it's been hilarious watch because they go through each card and give them a review, right? It's kind of a tradition to say like how strong these cards are, how good. And he's like, I cannot pronounce anything in this set. Everything is like Louisois and like
Louisois.
Grahatia, and who's this like Yishitola Badabadu, and like they're just like, oh my god, the names, like half of them look like they were sneezed out, and it's just funny to get someone's reaction because it's not like they're above nerd stuff, but they're used to dragons, lots of dragons and Magic, lots of Magic shit and Magic.
They're right about that Louisois stuff.
There's no elitism, but like they're used to Magic stuff. They're used to Magic
put
terms.
The full name on
don't,
there.
He doesn't think it's silly.
Louisois Levieur.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
but like the names in the names, like when you take all the Final Fantasies and just put the names in a list, you know, and just like recite, you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
With the English language right now. There's apparently the Seed Academy. Seed is spelt with a capital S, but also a capital D.
Yeah.
And so he's like, is this CD? Is it Seed? How do I say this? Why is there capital
It's
D on
Seed. Because
I know, but I can't tell him. You're just listening and I'm just laughing. I'm just like, oh my god.
The school is called a garden. What do you put in gardens? Seeds.
Seeds. That's a good point.
That's like everyone's like,
sense when you think
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, when you think real hard.
It's just funny to watch someone who has never played a Final Fantasy try to deal with the names of all.
That's great.
It does, yeah.
Scott has, and he still struggles with them.
What is it? Yashtola is your lady, pirate lady, right?
Yashtola
No,
Motorola.
Yashtola is the cat. She's the cat from Final Fantasy 14.
That's right. She follows you around and does stuff with you. She's actually really like that character, but her name's
Yashtola's great.
Her name's obnoxious. Go to the courthouse. $100 later, you got a new name. Who else? Who's the?
There's like Gorgonzola Pete.
Yeah.
like
Gorgonzola Pete.
like
They're
there's-
dumb.
I don't know who else. There's like Kefka is such a weird name, but that's not a hard one. But there's like Jekt is a name.
Yeah,
right, from Final
Jax,
Fantasy.
Titus's dad.
We're all used to
Jesus.
like Cloud Strife.
Even just weird
That's
ones.
dumb.
I'm like I play my Snowvilliers.
Oh,
What kind of a name is
man.
that?
It's not. It's a terrible name.
Snowvilliers.
It's a terrible name. It doesn't mean these are bad games. It doesn't mean they're aren't love for these characters, obviously, but their names are dumb.
A lot of the weird names do come from 14 because 14 is one of those games where there is a there is a reason for the naming. Like elves always have some weird fake version of French.
Yeah.
All the cat people always have a letter, then an apostrophe, and then a name. It's a division of like what clan they're from, and then a parental's name. There's lore reasons for the names. They're in there. You don't have to follow them. There's still people running around Joe Cool Guy. But the lore is there if you want to get super nerdy.
It makes me appreciate Sid
Also,
in these games because it's just straight Sid.
And there's like 15 different Sids.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about the Sid too is like, it's not like they did one Final Fantasy. They did like all 16. Like it is so packed with freaking characters. One of the themes of the set is like there's lots of legendary characters because like everyone's a main character from a game.
Yeah.
But there's some really just absolutely broken cards from Final Fantasy 16 because in that game they become their summons, right?
Yeah.
So they, like from a top-down design perspective, they've made the cards sort of feel like the characters in a lot of ways, and those 16 cards are just like, Jesus Christ, like they're unkillable because they turn into their summons, and the summons are just like just do ridiculous things, and then they don't die because if they die they just turn back into their original form and they're already broken.
So if you summon Clive, does he say something cool? Like, what does Clive do?
I haven't seen Clive in the client. Obviously in the card game there's no audio files, but in the video game I don't think there's many voice lines. Like there's some sound effects, but I didn't notice, like when I played Graha Tia, it's not like Hearthstone that one of the things about Hearthstone is they make sure everyone has like an attack line and an enter line, and they don't do that in Arena. That's not.
Did I see correctly that there's a card for suplex and it is somebody dropping a train upside down?
I played
For the
Suplex,
art?
but I don't remember the art. But Suplex is 100% a card. It's a red card.
That's dumb.
But
No, that's
game.
infamous. There's in Final Fantasy, is it 6 where they do the suplex thing?
Yeah,
Anyway, there's a character that his special is he does like you do fighting game inputs and he'll do moves and one of them is suplex and you can do it to a train.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So it's a weird thing that people have latched on that you can.
yes,
suplex
there is a
a
ton
train.
of fan service in the art and like acknowledgement of the game. I'm checking for you now with the art.
Oh, the art is he's charging a train to suplex it.
Oh,
So that's what it is.
does he end up doing it? He suplexes the train?
In the game, he does.
That
He
makes
just
He's
no-
running
suplex-
he's running towards the train. So
It makes so little sense that you would charge a train to suplex it. I
Well, if
understand.
you could suplex a train and you were fighting a train, that's what you would do to
But
it.
why is that the move?
It's Final Fantasy. Like one of the things, like again, not to reference this podcast again, but one of the things they were reacting to was like there's a card that is just the regalia and it's just a car with 4 dudes in it.
Yeah.
Because it's from Final Fantasy 15. He's like, this is magic. Well, why is this? Oh, I'm playing a car. It's going to Las Vegas or some shit. Like, it's not even a fantasy car. It's just a stupid car. And if you're into Final Fantasy, you're like, oh man, Final Fantasy 15, the regalia. But
That's
if you don't know,
great.
you're just like, why am I playing a Cadillac? Like,
Yeah.
this is so stupid.
You're just driving around with dudes.
It can
So
fly.
like Final Fantasy is like it's like when it's good, it's like very exaggerated and crazy and anime and like lots of production value, and sometimes it's just weird. And there's a lot of weird. And
Yeah.
people like the weird, but if you don't know, if you don't have the context for it, it just seems dumb, I guess. I don't know.
And they've sold a lot of these physical cards, haven't they?
Like
It's done.
they have like for every awesome ass card, like I have a weapons vendor in my hand, and it's a really good card, but it's just a weapons vendor. And I have a delivery Moogle, which is a mailman Moogle.
Yeah.
Why did they make a delivery Moogle? Maybe it's a reference to something.
It's a
I don't
reference
know.
to multiple games.
16, well, 14 in particular, right? Because you're always getting your mail from
Well, you can do that's how you get your mail in 14th. There's also an entire series of quests where you do the mail delivery for the Moogles, and they've in 9
I haven't
there
played
was a
enough Final
series
Fantasy
of
14, I guess.
Moogle delivery quests as well.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't played enough, but I'm just like, even me who's played plenty of Final Fantasy understands. I'm like, I don't know why there's a mailman Moogle, but okay, let's go.
I don't know why there's
The
Moogles,
ultimate
period.
card says such devastation. This was not my intention. That's incredible. Oh
the
my
lines
gosh,
are-
that's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, Ultima.
card
Who's
is that, sorry?
Ultima? Ultima? Is that a character? Or are you talking about the game Ultima?
I don't know. Someone in chat jumps in chat said Ultima had such devastation. This was not my intention on it. So apparently there's a card for Ultima, and that's the quote they put on the card.
Such
Yes,
devastation.
Ultima Origin of Oblivion. Although I don't think is there. Oh no, there's just Ultima. Here you go. I'll send you the image in Discord.
The Nissan Ultima. Get
Such
it now.
devastation. This was not my intention. That's just a play on an infamous line.
Ultima. The spell Ultima is destroy all artifacts and creatures. End the turn.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Just destroys everything. Now, Magic is not a stranger to board clear. They're known as Wrath of God effects. For the classic card, destroy all creatures. But Ultima is a flavorful version that also includes the artifacts as part of its destruction. Anyways, yeah, cool card. Yeah.
Do you think John, if you were playing this game on a table, you'd probably yell that line when you use that card, right? You'd go, such devastation.
Such devastation. The line delivery is so, because it's the original lines from 14, like the original voice actors, where the voice acting is a little off, and it's there's a giant explosion, and it's just so good. He just goes, such devastation.
Yeah.
This was not my intention. So good.
That's pretty good.
I love it.
You've converted me. All right. Well done, everybody.
Anyways,
those are the games we played.
Is awesome as shit. I'm really having a good time with it.
Well, good. Bo, we got a question for you.
That's a good question.
This is an email, or voicemail rather. Came to us at 10hams.com. Use it all the time. Voicemails, texts, all that fun stuff. Keep them coming. This is Hayes Skunk, and this is for you.
Hey, Corpos. This is Hayes Skunk calling from beautiful Beaver Bay, Minnesota. I was listening to your latest show, and for some reason, Bo keeps talking about potassium sulfate. It doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Anyway, love the show. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.
What is he talking about? You said about potassium sulfate? What was that?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know either.
Potassium salt. I guess I got to look it up. Maybe it's a clever joke.
Did you bring it up a lot? Potassium sulfate.
Potassium sulfate.
Was it urea and Coke?
Also
Says
called
Benjamin.
Sulfate of potash. They talk about potash? Maybe.
Well,
Arcanite. Potassium sulfur is an inorganic compound with formula K2SO.
Oh, there's your joke.
There
right
it is.
K2SO4.
We got it.
We found it.
It's Bo's K2SO joke.
White water soluble. No, this is about the droid K2SO.
Well, yeah.
And my fan fiction
Your
of
fan
K2SO
fiction.
Unleashed, where he survives the blowing up of the planet and comes back to get revenge on those who killed Cassian, his only friend.
Yeah. We see
And
what you did,
he's
Hayes Skunk.
Apprenticing for Darth Vader.
Right.
You know, before the second Death Star. We don't have much
It is
prequel
written.
stuff before Return of the Jedi. As they were building this, there's a lot of room to tell a story.
Yeah, there's lots of pockets of time in there you could explore.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Hayes
Ready.
Skunk got us.
Man.
Good job, man. You got us. You nailed it. Well done.
Now, technically, it's K2SO4.
Which kind of
So
blows
you
the
left
whole joke.
4 off. Yeah, but good job. We got us to look it up. So
I'm actually impressed how quick we got there and sussed it out.
Yeah, we figured it out surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you say surprisingly fast. I typed it in Google, went to Wikipedia, and read.
Yeah, I mean, you should get
I
credit.
guess so.
Yeah, you're as fast as ChatGPT would have been. Let's say it that way. Well, anyway,
All right.
that's fantastic. Well done,
figured it out.
everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you for that call, 10hams.com. That is going to do it for today's show. I want to thank some patrons. Got a handful of new folks this week. Douglas Maxwell, Jamie P. OC Phoenix, and Matt Ice. Matt Ice. It's like a rapper name. I like it. Sorry your name is being used so much in vain lately with various current events. Anyway, want to welcome these guys here. For all 4 of you. Patreon.com/core shows where they went. Now they get no commercials ever. Pre-show content every week. Monthly art in the mail. Always game related. I just sent out a whole new batch of those. Host specials in the month. All that fun stuff. If you want to get on that train, you don't even have to suplex it. You just get on and enjoy. It's over at patreon.com/core show. For all other things, frogpants.com/core. The only thing we got left is to give Grandma the mic and have her remind you all at home what games we played this week. Take it away.
Well, buckle in, because it was a lot of them. Here we go. From the top. Clockwork Revolution, 007 First Light, Ill Keeper, Stranger Than Heaven, Marvel Talkin' Fighting Souls, Super Meat Boy 3D, Felt That Boxing, The Outer Worlds 2, Grounded 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, Mouse PI for Hire, The Expanse, Osiris Reborn, Eve Frontier, Ball X Pit, The Seven Deadly Sins Origin, Eric's Home, Esoteric Ebb, Ratatan, Thief VR, Deadpool VR, Mina the Hollower, Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, Axe of Blood. And then the games they played were Dune Awakening, Mario Kart World, Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby Car Game. We didn't even ever figure it out, but we talked about it. Guns of Fury, the Star Wars Fortnite event, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Stellar Blade, Elden Ring Night Rain, and Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy.
Good Lord.
There it all is.
There you go.
You want to know why John's good at like tongue twisters and stuff? I think we just witnessed like another reason why you're like nobody can do what you do. That's insane to me. You didn't mess one of those up. Well, don't mess anything up this week, everybody. Go play a bunch of video games. Have some fun. Play your new Switch 2. Look forward to some other game. Deal with the combat. I couldn't think of anything. And have a whole bunch of fun before we see you next time, because that's going to be sooner than you think.
I think roughly.
Yeah.
I think we're almost on hour 5.
It's a long one today, but I hope you enjoyed it. We did. We'll see you next time.
Frog in Pants. If you're looking for something froggy smooth, find more at frogpants.com.
I'm here to kill chaos.
Did he make it in your card game?